Alright, here we are on Cram course, second part. Some multiple guess questions. Let's see how we do on these. The fill in the blank were a little harder. So let's see how we do on this. Somebody help me out with that first one.
Real property does not include.
See, everything goes to attached to land.
Does not.
Yeah, does not. A lot of times, if you'll take out the word like not, and just read it, real property includes.
It includes
What
land.
does it include? And then there's going to be something in there that it doesn't include.
It doesn't include the rights associated with the land.
Very good. The real property is the land and everything's attached to it, above and below, everything physically attached to it. That's saying the same thing this one does. A lot of times their answers will be, they'll have two that pretty much say the same thing, and then they'll have two that you're going to have to pick from. All right, well this one, if I'm looking at that one and that one, they say pretty much the same thing. Well, that pretty much says the same thing too. So this is the oddball out. These are rights, which is different. Yeah, these are physically attached to it. This is the rights. This is where we separate real property from real estate. Those are two different. In real estate, those are two. You think, well, you say it all interchangeably all the time, but it's really not interchangeable.
So the first three are actually estate. The first three are estate and not real property.
Well, the estate's going to be, this one's actually an estate here, the rights.
Right, okay.
That's where we get into
That's what I meant.
estate.
That's what I meant.
So that's why I've got both of these right here, just next to each other. All right, this one's real property, land, rights. That's the oddball out. So process elimination, you should get that one. That's why most of the multiple questions are. Two of them are just distractors, pretty much alike, and then you got two that you're going to have to pick from. And there we got land or the rights. I got just eliminated that part and had just land or rights. It still would have been the same thing. Here we got real estate. That's going to be the one with the rights in it. So down here, what have we got? Real estate does not include. Well, it does include the land, anything attached to the land. Appurtenances, those are the rights or responsibilities that go along with the land. So personal property is going to be the one that's the oddball out here. Yeah, see, this is much easier than what we did this morning. This is more like fun. This morning was like work.
Don't get carried away now. You got to pull out your pizza now.
We're not having fun yet.
No, we're not.
All right, so real property includes
Cattle.
Harvest of corn.
Real property is chattel.
It's chattel.
Chattel is the same.
Because it moves.
Harvest corn.
Those three just don't make no sense.
well, those three are the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same.
Cattle, harvest corn, and
Chattel, cattle,
It's the same.
cattle.
Harvest corn.
and harvested corn. Doesn't that sound like personal property too?
Yeah, but copper subterranean, that ain't got nothing to do with it.
It said it includes.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to say does not include?
No, it's right. Real property includes, well, real property is not going to be cattle.
No.
Oh,
That's personal
because it's,
property.
oh, yeah. So it's
Chattel is another
subterranean.
word for personal property. And then harvested corn, that's personal property over here
So the
now.
type of
All three
subterranean.
of these are personal property. Real property is not personal property.
So would that be some type of mineral, right?
Copper. All right, copper, we know what copper is. That's a mineral. And where are you going to find minerals? Below ground. Subterranean is a real estate word for below ground.
Right.
So this is something that's below ground.
But it's still real
attached.
property.
It's attached.
Everything above and below land.
Everything, above and below land would be real. That's real property does include everything above and below. None of this is above and below the land.
No.
These are all personal properties. See how y'all can just get working?
They just gave you pretty much, they gave you the examples. They didn't say this is the definition of, they just gave you the example, so you got to figure out what the word is. Yeah, yeah.
There you've got to know what chattel is.
Yeah.
And they have learned from millions of tests that people don't remember the word chattel, so they keep throwing it on the test. Chattel cattle moves. Thank you, prep agent. This is on, isn't it? Did I turn it? Yeah, I turned it on.
Okay, real
Remember one
property.
night I did the whole class and forgot to turn the video
No, 'cause we had to
on.
come back to it.
Yeah.
Real property does not include, and on your test, they're probably gonna have that not in capital letters.
Okay.
So real property does not include what?
Real property does not.
Mobile home. Well,
There you go.
because it's not really a real
It's not
property.
fixed.
It ain't
Right, it's not,
founded.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mobile home is personal
Right,
property.
it's personal property.
That's wheel estate.
Yeah.
The chain link fence on the property line, that's
That's real.
attached.
Mhm.
The concrete steps, even though they were poured 3 years after the home was built,
Still
they're
attached.
still attached.
Mhm.
The mailbox post,
Goes
I'm
with
pretty
the
sure that's
property.
attached. So the mobile home,
Is
you know, if I got that one is, I was confused now, is mobile home, is that real estate?
Mm-mm.
No, it's personal property.
Yeah.
You know, if you see mobile homes, they'll have like a little sticker on them.
Sure do.
Where it's a tax, it's like, just like the sticker you put on your tag on your car.
Yeah.
I think mobile home's supposed to have a tag on it.
I think so.
Mhm.
They do.
But most of them are never moved again.
Mhm.
Appurtenances.
Do not include.
Well, could we say appurtenances include?
Yeah, that's the way you should look at it. Eliminate that word. Appurtenances include, which one? There are gonna be 3 of them included and one's,
Not included.
D.
D.
D. I mean, we've done 4 of them now in a row just like this. Seeing how you can word it different ways. Nails become real property when?
You got to hit the nail. Right here.
License
Homeowners
contractor.
use to build patio chairs.
A.
C.
Nails become
No,
real
B.
property when license
Used to
contractor
build patio
purchase.
chairs.
Oh, well,
B.
I said that. I'm more.
B. Something that's removable.
If it's real property, is it attached?
It's not.
It's-
It is.
Real
It
property.
is.
Yes.
Real
Yeah,
property.
it and personal
Patio
mixed up.
chairs are not
Personal
Everything is
property,
staying.
not attached.
used to build building office structure.
I just think a personal property is like what I'm taking with me, or
Mhm.
what I could take with me.
Let's go down the list. Licensed contractor purchases for the intent of building an office structure. He's just got a box of nails in his truck right now. Is that real property?
No.
No. The homeowner uses it to build patio chairs.
That's personal.
That's
property.
personal property. Window manufacturers use it to build windows for new construction. They're still in the factory.
Yeah.
That's personal property. The maintenance man uses them to repair the crawl space door.
The real
Real
property.
property.
He's attaching them to the house now.
So that's real.
So nails become real property when the maintenance man, named the person,
Maintenance person.
y'all jumped on me the other night about that, person,
Okay.
uses them to repair the crawl. It was personal property until he hit it with the hammer and drove it into the side of the house.
Right.
Now it's real property. Doctrine of implements. That's not the doctor of implements. Doctrine.
Okay, and we're gonna take a real property.
In the C?
You must be gonna have a fault after it.
I don't remember that one. Is the
I
C?
don't remember, oh, well, I'm just gonna say, A.
Don't just say, hey, don't just guess.
No, because
Break
I
it
don't,
down.
I don't remember the doctrine of the eminent
We
state.
did talk about.
We talked about implements, and this morning we talked about
But I wasn't here this
So
morning.
is that
Talk
the
about the
disc?
crops and all that.
implements are crops.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, so yeah, it's a word you gotta have in your head up here. Implements are crops.
yeah.
And they can come back and harvest
Harvest.
after the lease ends.
Yes,
If it's already.
that's what the doctrine
Okay.
is. That's the rule of law that says you can come back and get your crops after the lease ends.
Cause you planted them.
You planted them, you took care of them, you did all the work. Why would they go to the owner? So that's the doctrine of implements, says the tenant may harvest the crops after the lease ends.
Makes sense.
That wouldn't be fair if they had to leave it.
And they planted and used all their money.
Implements are the de facto indicator of property boundaries. That's the kind of stuff they'll throw on the test as bait. It's shiny, like that.
It will
That's
shine.
something I don't remember, so that must be the answer.
Sound like me?
Yeah, de facto.
Sound official.
Yeah, that sounds real
Like the-
official. Since I don't know what emblems mean, that must be an official word too.
I mean, you making it worse, Steve. It sound like somewhere where your mind to go because you're going, I got the answer.
Yeah, I got that one. It's gotta be one of these.
Test for
Annexation?
Include all of the following, or include all.
Intention.
All of the following.
You remember who our person was here? on
Maria.
Marie, yeah, all right, so look at your acronym. And remember,
Method.
Reason,
Reason
Everybody
is
here.
not it.
method, adaptability,
C.
C.
intention, C.
reason.
Maria.
Yeah, that's, the acronym's gonna pull you out of the fire sometimes, and here's an example of it.
Right.
Maria, M was
Method.
method of attachment, I, no,
Adaptability.
MA.
MA. Adaptability.
I told you I can't spell. MA is adaptability.
And then it was R.
R was,
So R wasn't reason, but
it
maybe
wasn't
it
reason, but
could
it
have
was
gotten
something
you.
else.
It wasn't run, I put an R up there intentionally, but it wasn't that one.
Was it
Relationship.
Relationship of the parties. Uh-huh, but it was an R.
It's an R, but it's not
But
that.
it's supposed to be
I just
relationship.
knew it wasn't reasoning. I didn't know, couldn't think of what it was, but I knew it wasn't reasoning.
Okay,
But it is relationship,
yes.
so it's reason, C.
And intention was one of Maria's.
Intention was. Oh, Lord, gee, that's what I was intending to ask.
That's, it means crops.
Now we're going back to real property again, review that for a second.
Includes, so we're gonna say it includes.
Okay, that's the way you want to look at it. Does real property include wall-to-wall carpet?
Yes, because it's
Yes.
a part of it now.
Does it include the expensive rug in the dining room which matches the paint color?
No.
No!
That's not included.
How about the key to the front door?
Yes.
Yes, and this is a tricky one right now.
Yes, it is.
Challenging.
Challenging.
Not tricky, it's challenging. The key is on my key ring in my pocket. Why is that real
Because
property?
it goes to that lock.
Because it goes to the lock.
With the front door.
And the front door, I'm pretty sure that's attached.
Unless they took it out to say they need to work on it to get the tenant out.
I just had one this week, it was a vacant property in West End. Somebody kicked the front door in, and once they got in, there was this nice stainless steel side-by-side refrigerator
And they
that
just
would
took it.
not fit through the front door. So they got the crowbar and tore the framing off the door so they could get the refrigerator out.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
But that was it's laying in the floor in there right now, but it's still real property.
Yeah.
It's not attached. I don't know, is it real property now or personal property?
It's personal, because it's not, it ain't on the
It's
door.
not attached, that'd be a challenging question there.
Very challenging.
Thief knocked the front door off, it's laying in the living room, is that real property?
Trade fixture, permanent attached to permanent.
So the answer is what, D?
No, it's the B.
The
Big
road.
expensive road, yeah.
Yeah, real property, that's
Yeah.
personal property.
Yeah, personal property.
Doesn't matter what it costs.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it matches the paint color.
Right.
It's just a rug.
You right.
But here we got a difference here. The wall-to-wall carpet, that is attached.
Cause it's installed.
But the rug in the dining room that matches the paint is not.
Just laying there.
Okay.
All right, trade fixture.
A.
Is it A?
Primarily, if you put me for,
Cardboard display.
trade fixture.
What would non-chattel?
It ain't moving.
Non-chattel would be, I guess,
property.
non-personal. I guess you
That's not
could
a
stretch
Well,
it
I
out.
just X that one out because they don't even make sense.
Well, some of them not gonna make sense, but they gonna look good. You're gonna say, I like that. I didn't study that word, but that must be the answer.
You
I'm
sound
gonna
like
go
me.
with A.
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
trade fixture, permanently attached equipment needed for operated business. Was permanently attached, we talked about that attachment. Once they leave, they got to fix whatever they tore up,
But
putting
if
it
they
in.
don't, then it becomes a property. Cause like that board, if you don't take it with you,
The landlord said, what I need that board for?
I know.
He'd probably like for me to leave the TVs hanging on the wall.
But you're not.
No. Not characteristic of real property?
Uniqueness?
Not characteristic of real property.
Not characteristic of real
The
property.
mobility, preference, indestructible, and uniqueness.
it's not mobile.
Indestructibility.
It's not indestructible. Real property can't be destructible. No?
All right, let's take our word not out. And look at
Characteristics.
characteristics of real property. All right, real property, is it immobile?
No, it's, yes,
move
it's
it.
immobile.
You can't move it.
They can't move
Right.
it.
So there's another, they throwing words on you that you, I don't know what that means.
Immobile.
And you can't move real property.
Right.
How about preference? What does that got to do with real property? I like this lot, but it doesn't have anything to do with the characteristic of it. That's your
It's a personal.
preference.
Okay.
You, indestructibility, well, you can't destroy land.
Mhm.
Uniqueness, yeah,
Yeah.
each property is unique.
Mhm.
Even though they all, yeah, the location, there's something unique about every single property. That's the underpinning of specific performance. I needed to have that very piece of property that I've got a contract with you, now you won't sell to me. That's the one I gotta have. It's on the corner of Main Street and First Avenue. That's where I want my
Okay.
business.
Okay.
It won't work anywhere else.
Okay.
So the answer is
So
D.
B is the
So be the
Preference.
answer.
B, preference,
Yeah,
preference, preference.
Desirability of land includes all of the following except, so it includes all of the following.
Durability of land includes all of the following.
What did we say citrus was?
Situs, location.
So the location can make it desirable.
They say none.
Usability can make it desirable. Well, the scarcity.
Let's go back to our acronym. What's the acronym for,
Dust.
yeah, dust. I was trying to think of the word,
Okay.
desirability of property.
Okay.
DUST, what was D?
Demand.
I don't see demand on there.
No.
U,
Usability.
usability, that's on there. S,
Scarcity.
scarcity, that's on there.
Transferability.
And T was transferability there, that one's on there. 1, 2, those are all in our acronym.
So-
Non-situs, we talked about situs,
but
that's our preference for a site. But non-situs, what would that mean? I don't prefer that site?
B is the answer.
I was thinking.
Yeah, it'd be non, yeah, that one's not on our list.
The property, I was like, you wouldn't want to be scarce, but land you do.
Probably gridiron. I don't know.
Because the
Seen
legal
that.
description of land includes all of the following except.
Or take the except out.
But we got meets and bounds.
We got that, we know that.
So first,
We
Reported
got
plat.
rectangle, so C will be grid.
Thomas Jefferson rectangular,
So
and
C,
then
what was
recorded plat.
Plat is subdivision.
Yeah, that's lot and block.
so it's C.
Oh, okay.
Gotta be gridiron. Now, we talked about gridiron, that's
But
how
in that-
properties
that
are
would be-
laid out.
Right.
That
In a
that
community.
content.
Yeah, like downtown is grid system, but that's not a legal description. Baselines related to
Section.
sections. And then we gotta get down a couple of levels before we actually get to the section, because
Right.
our baseline started at out here, Tennessee, Alabama line, so we gotta drill down a couple of levels. We gotta go from baselines to townships to sections.
What's datum points?
Datum points is elevation. You'd have that in a condominium description, because the survey on the bottom floor looks just like the survey on every other floor.
Okay.
So you gotta have a datum point to tell you how high you are above sea level, or some other monument there. Okay? Y'all didn't like baselines are related to baseball? I thought that was gonna be funny. Section 1, south of which one?
Would it be C?
Section 1 is south,
Because it would be 31. Wait a minute.
south.
We go left to
Right
right.
down.
Go right.
12?
Wait a minute, right to left, yeah.
Yeah, right to left. How many, but it's
Right to
36.
left.
Oh, no, I don't
36.
think,
Okay.
I don't think it,
Yeah, you got to,
So we started right
you
there.
got the counts.
I just can't remember how far you went. So
Okay,
stop.
so
South is 36.
Alright?
section 1 is south.
Section
of-
1 is south of, so we gotta
Section.
have, all these look just alike.
Uh-huh.
One here looks just like that, over here, they all look just alike.
So 1 is south.
So 1 is south of which one? Well, there's 1,
Uh-huh.
so what is right there?
North. 36.
It's gonna be 36 too.
36?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this one, there's one here,
Yep.
looks just like that.
Yeah, 36. So the answer is 36.
36. Some of these you may have to draw out
Yeah.
to figure out where it is, but they expect you to know what they look like, and then they say north, south, east, west. They expect you to know which direction that is.
I was gonna say 7. But that's not it.
That's not an answer.
Look, they don't say no
That will be right there.
Yeah, below 6.
Yeah, you're right, it would be. Well, yeah, let me see.
7 not on the F. Oh, so it's not an
Yeah,
option.
they're
Oh,
gonna give
okay,
you,
so I should have said
they're gonna give you
I messed it up all the
a
way
scratch paper.
It
Right.
wasn't even on the.
12. Right,
It wasn't a choice.
right.
D.
Wait a minute, an acre
Is D?
is,
No.
wait a minute,
7.
Hold on, wait a minute.
11,
an acre is
4,
640 square feet.
3.
And then you multiply it, wait a minute, hold on, let me get this straight.
An acre?
It's 640.
Square feet.
Yeah, it's C.
An acre, 43,560.
Wait a minute.
But you say
It's-
it's, see that 208.7?
That's the
Right.
7-Eleven.
Oh,
One
it broke it
mile
down.
by one
Oh,
Wait,
I
what?
remember that one.
Oh, no, 640 is a mile.
Yeah.
So, yeah, an acre
Yeah.
is 711.
You got a bunch,
That don't
Football
come out of
field.
70,
Yeah.
though.
So,
4,300. It has to be
Oh, no, Alicia,
4,300.
it's C. 'Cause that's not the right number. Yeah, it's 43,650. I'm sorry.
Right, so that's
sorry.
wrong, so it's
Yeah.
not D.
Yeah, it's not D,
So
it's C.
C. B or C.
That's square
Mile by
foot.
mile.
what's a mile by a mile? What
A mile by
thing
a
have we
mile.
measured? That's 1 mile by 1 mile.
you'd have to multiply.
640.
A third of a football field?
No,
No,
A mile by mile?
we went township to, what's the
Section?
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 Is 1 mile by 1 mile. And we're looking for an acre.
So then it's C.
making my head hurt.
208.71
Now listen,
feet.
Steve, we'll call out every one of them except A.
Make my head hurt now, come
I
on.
don't know, I think it's A. I think A is just a throw in.
I saw that
I think
somewhere
it's
though.
C. Let's see. I'll tell y'all what. Let's just find out. It's C. It's C. It's C. Here we go.
How many
Here we
feet
go.
are in a mile? Wasn't that
What
the
is the proportion of
700?
an acre?
Wasn't
An
that
acre is
Wait on that,
43
how many feet?
43,560 square feet.
So D is wrong.
Yeah, D, yeah, but
that
all the
is a-
numbers are there.
No, that
An
is
acre is
wrong.
43,560 square foot. So I wonder would it be A in some type of
Broke down.
mathematical translation?
Mathematical
You
translation.
got your calculator right there. Put 43,560 in there and square root it.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
I
No.
don't know if my phone did that.
Square root about
I
what?
can't even remember the last
Square
time I
root of
square rooted
43,560.
anything.
I don't know. How do you square root?
What's the square root?
Y'all know how to do that?
Put it to the, no.
The square root.
I'm not, no.
Is that just third power or the fourth power?
Now, the square
No, the
root,
square root.
you just put 43,560 square root and it should give you
Oh, you mean the
208.71.
number?
That's
the
why
little-
I
the
started
little
seeing the
thing.
number before,
Yeah,
I just
it's
wasn't
not-
sure.
Now,
Wait a minute. No.
an acre's also got some square feet in it,
What's the
but it's
square?
not 640 square feet. It's not 45,600. How many
So
square
what is
feet?
it, 36, about 36?
How many square feet are in an acre?
43,580.
43,560, so you know that one's wrong. That also makes that one wrong. 1 mile by 1 mile is a
36
section.
times 36, that ain't right.
Which is an acre, isn't it?
Yeah, no, a
1
section
mile by 1 mile.
It's 36
section-
by 36.
is 1 mile by 1 mile.
That's a section, okay.
Each one of these little sections has how many acres in it?
1 acre, isn't it?
It's got 640 acres. I mean 640 acres.
40 acres in 1 square mile.
Yeah, there's 640 acres in a section. That's not what they're asking. It says how many, an acre is one of these. Well, they're giving you, well, I gave you all these erroneous answers down here. This one, if you stop the 7-Eleven store, he's not gonna give you that one.
That's not right.
Well, 640 square feet in an acre. No, I know there's 43,560, so that one's wrong. A section's a mile by a mile. An acre is 208 feet by 208 feet. You know what you got when you did the square root?
I couldn't figure out the square root on my phone, but I remember you did have, it was around 200 by 200.
Yeah,
And
that's
said
what I
that
say,
one.
roughly, don't,
Yeah.
don't get real exact, because that's just too exact to tell anybody. But if that's the number that's on your test, and you've got these other numbers, you know that one's wrong, you know that one's wrong, you know that one's wrong.
Miss Vanessa, what you say over there?
You know for a fact those
I
are
ain't gonna get
wrong.
no corns.
Okay, y'all.
You know, but they're gonna give you
Okay.
things on there that look good.
Yeah.
You've heard 640, you've heard that number a bunch of times.
Ain't good.
That's how big a section is, which is this one.
Jesus.
Oh, so which is a mile by mile, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we did talk and discuss it.
we did.
Boy,
Just
did we
this
discuss
morning, I said 208.71.
it. But you know math ain't our good point.
I'm not claiming that anymore.
Well, I got to claim until I get it fixed.
That was good.
I use them, looks kind of like the same one
There it
there.
is again, there it is again.
You shouldn't have to read past number 1.
That's what I said.
You really shouldn't.
Cause that's the one we were just talking about, 5280.
And is 1 mile by 1 mile.
Yeah. A is the answer.
A's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
640 acres is a quarter of a section, not a quarter of a township, and is certainly not half of a rectangular survey. What's half of a rectangular survey?
Help.
Yeah, that's not even, I don't even know what that one is.
Help. I just told you.
Alright, meets,
B, direction.
it's not people you meet.
Wait a minute, it's not, oh, that kind of
Sound like a website to
meet
meet people.
Yeah, cause the other meats,
That's not spelled
that ain't the
right.
same meats.
It's direction.
M-E-T-E.
Because bounds.
Yeah. That right there meats refer to people you meet, not that meat, for the meat and the bound.
That's supposed to be M-E-T.
Because it's meets and bounds.
He got meats,
And meets and
like you meet somebody.
Yeah, that's the way this is spelled.
Yeah, and that ain't M-E-T-E.
You're thinking about like hamburger meat.
location.
Oh, you're talking about meets and bounds. M-E-T-E, that's typo.
Now, how many times have I told y'all I went to school with lead and asbestos? I've already told y'all I can't spell.
You were looking like, no.
Yeah, so,
It's the right.
M-E-T-E-S.
oh, that's the one you want to put up there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
Cause that answer would be people you meet.
meets is where we are, which is direction. Right here.
Now.
Now, y'all like that better?
More better.
Tell you, I got an excuse.
That's distance.
Oh, is that?
I can't spell my name half the time.
It's okay, it's the lead.
It's okay, it's a lead paint.
Yeah, see, that's what I was looking at. I was
And the plant next to your mama's house.
Yeah.
It is, meat, that one.
And the best is in the ceiling tiles. In the bathroom.
I got every excuse in the world for not. I'm lucky to be able to stand here.
Oh.
Y'all picking on me because I can't spell.
Picking on a protected class.
Yeah. I got glasses, that makes me handicapped.
Oh, me too.
I can't see the letters.
Okay, okay.
File a fair housing claim with this job.
You're not trying to sell you a house though.
Okay.
Alright, which will,
Which
methods?
survey must include reference to a river? Wait a minute. Which survey may include reference to a river? Township.
No.
Cause that is water, ain't it?
Isn't that like the meridian type? Because, no, the township is the like the line where things meet.
Township is by the Marion, Mississippi River down there by the water up by Huntsville.
Yeah, we
It's either
didn't,
that or government service.
we didn't talk about rivers with township. We talked
We talked about
yeah,
water.
squares.
We talked about
Township.
water.
Squares,
Lot
that's why I don't know.
Lot
I know
and
it's
block,
not
we got just a map, but it's got lot 1, lot 2. We didn't talk about rivers there either.
that. It's down in the government survey, and meet and bounds is
A meets and bounds has a
bounds.
point of beginning,
And, yeah.
which is here, and it may follow the river to the next monument. Remember, the river can change.
True.
And if the river changes, your property boundary changes.
I don't see no POD of that.
Well, it's a meets and bounds, point of beginning is part of a meets and bounds.
There you go with that again. You need to change that.
What I misspelled? Did I misspell
Yeah,
what?
put B-E-T-E-S.
Lord.
That's all, I mean.
Y'all keep me going straight here now.
Now,
Now,
that's more
now y'all
better.
like that one better?
More better.
It's meets and bounds.
Yeah.
Refers to a river.
Yeah.
May not be a river there.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That is the answer, meets and bounds.
Yes.
And it's spelled M-E-T-E-S.
I don't know what we gonna do
I'm
with him.
surprised at that, M-E-A-T. I'm hungry thinking about
You can't be
doing that.
hungry.
How many acres are in a section? B, 600?
B, 600, see, you done jumped out at you that time.
Yeah.
Everything was spelled right.
Area rights
Yeah.
do not
I
include.
spelled acres right, section right.
You did real good.
It does not include the right to pollute because it's related to water rights.
Correct.
Wait, what you say, what is it?
Right.
Riparian rights.
Mm-hmm.
Riparian refers to which kind of body of water?
Rivers.
Rivers.
River with ripples.
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 So it's D?
Now, that's the one I probably would have misspelled.
But you didn't.
Riparian, I got that
But you
one.
didn't. You didn't.
What's the answer to that one?
You don't have the right to pollute the water.
At all.
You got the right to
Does not
reasonable
include-
use and enjoy it.
And determination.
And it
but not-
determines where your property boundary
But
is.
not the.
But you don't have the right to pollute it
Mm-mm.
or to stop it from going on downriver. Now, what does this right refer to?
Isn't it the water edge?
Mhm.
The littoral?
To the
The
edge of the
littoral,
water.
that's large bodies of water. This is the one that lunar will
Lunar.
create tides,
Mhm.
and your littoral rights end where?
It's not at the water's edge.
Well, this one could be water's edge
The center of the body.
So we go out to the.
or the
to-
center of the body.
Center body of the one.
This one, your ends at the water's edge.
Right, that's right there where the.
This is, think of the beach. People walking along the beach down there. Hotel sitting up here. Does the hotel have the right to tell him, don't walk in front of my house, or my hotel?
You can't do
No,
it.
because it's not the edge of the water.
Mhm.
It's the high water mark. Where the
So,
water comes,
and it-
when the high tide comes up,
uh-huh.
the mean high water mark is the property line.
Gotcha.
Oh, so littoral right.
Not where the water's out, you know, it's low tide,
But when it
that's
comes-
not your property line.
Okay.
It's the mean, that's the average
It come up.
high water mark. And littoral wouldn't extend to the middle of the ocean,
So it
or
just
extend to the opposite side of the ocean, because this is like ocean,
comes-
large lakes.
Beach.
Yeah, beach.
Okay, but we put large.
Yeah, that's what I thought, large bodies of water.
Yeah.
And that's what I was, okay, so I didn't realize, okay, large body of water.
So it's B. Putting all that.
Well, gee, tie the L's together. Littoral is large, lunar. Tie those together.
Okay.
And then riparian is rivers and ripples.
River and rivers.
Ripples.
Different definition.
Encumbrances do not include,
License. Do not include.
do not include.
Encumbrance does not include.
They do. Wait a minute.
Because a license is not written, is it?
It could be a ticket, it could be permission.
But it's not an encumbrance.
Well, what does encumbrance refer to?
Some type of
Somebody's on your
restriction.
Something
On-
coming on your property.
On your property.
Yeah. So,
Oh, a lien would not be.
Now, that's money.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, lien would be on your property.
Mhm.
I got a mortgage on it, that's a lien.
An encroachment.
Adjoining.
An encroachment, that's somebody's garage on my property.
So
That's
D,
an
adjoining property?
adjoining property, doesn't have anything to do with your property.
Okay.
Unless it's encroaching on
Yeah, their garage may be an
or
encroachment
fence.
on your property, which would be an encumbrance. I guess it'd be an encumbrance on your property. You couldn't use that part.
How
So
does
why would-
licenses tie
Yeah,
into
how,
it?
why would licenses not be the?
Well, an encumbrance would not be, a license wouldn't be an encumbrance because that doesn't really affect your property. Somebody's just using it for a minute. They went to the movie theater. That's a license.
Oh, encumbrance does not include, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't include that. And it doesn't include,
So let's say encumbrance includes.
okay,
Take
encumbrances
the do not
include
out.
lien, mm-hmm,
Encroachment,
mm-hmm,
license.
Like a license would be an encumbrance
Right,
for a minute.
so encumbrance includes, so then D is the only one that,
That doesn't have anything to do with this property.
Right.
It's outside the boundaries of this
Okay.
property.
That's what I thought. Okay.
so property tax is, it's involuntary.
Yeah, this is the way you're gonna see it. They're gonna have 3 in here.
Okay.
And you gotta figure out which one it is. A property tax lien is. All right, first of all, is that specific or general?
It's specific.
Specific, all right, so let's find the generals in here. All right, there's a general, I know it's not that one. Property tax, is that voluntary or involuntary?
Involuntary.
Involuntary, so I can get rid of the voluntary. I got rid of general here, I get rid of voluntary here. All right, I've still got involuntary, and I got involuntary up there. Specific. All right, it's cheap, what's that got to do with it?
Nothing.
So we've eliminated
All
all 3 of those.
Right.
Now let's go back and check.
A.
Property tax lien is specific, statutory, it's by law, and it's involuntary. So you've got all 3 of those. This kind, you're gonna have to do a elimination, just picking some of the words out of it and say, no, that one doesn't go in here, no, that one doesn't either.
And let's say you did that one. So mortgage
I thought that
is,
general meant that it was like first in line.
Now,
and-
general means it's a
all it
lien on
says.
everything you own in that county.
Okay.
You know, so you
Oh,
don't pay
property
your,
is on that specific, okay.
yeah, that was a property tax.
Okay,
Had it said an income tax lien,
yeah.
it would be general,
Oh, okay.
not specific just to that property. It's all the property you own in that county.
is voluntary. So the only one that has voluntary on it is A.
That's a
Because
good clue.
it's not involuntary.
No, you asked for it. In fact, you
So-
begged for it.
Yes, I don't know about all that. So B and C you exclude because it's not involuntary.
Not involuntary, so both of those are out.
And ad valorem has to do with tax.
Yeah,
So it can't be that.
so it's gotta be specific to that property.
Voluntary.
And it was voluntary because you asked for it.
You keep on saying you ain't do it.
Land encumbered by easement is,
What was ad
All
valorem?
right, Ontario just asked me this at lunch. This question right here.
Come on, Arthur.
Can't pick on it, can't say you answered, but she did ask about this at lunch.
encumbered by
Land encumbered by an easement is the which one?
It's the Serbian.
Yes. I need to hold this in my hand
The
too.
C is the one
This
that's
is-
using.
Here's the main road right here. And you got a driveway going back here. Your house is here, somebody else's house is back here. You sold this property to them. So you've got to give them ingress and egress. That's what this is, ingress and egress. This property is serving
The one in the back, so now.
that one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the property encumbered, that means affected by the easement, is the servient. Not transferable? Yeah, that's probably gonna be written in the deed. Leased? No, wouldn't have anything to do with lease. So these are our 2 choices, and these are really easy to confuse.
They really are.
Dominant.
Which one? The one that's serving is servient. This one is serving this one.
Right.
So explain what dominant is.
This one's dominant.
The one in the back.
The one in the
It's
back is
forcing the
dominant.
other one to.
Yeah, there we go. Domineering. I'm
You
forcing
gonna
you.
let me use
Yeah,
this
you-
right
yeah.
here.
Okay.
So that's forced.
Yeah, it's kind of like force.
Because the person really doesn't have a choice.
No.
If that's the only way in and the only way out, then they're required to.
They're
So
gonna have to
dominate.
serve.
The ones in the back. not leasing, it ain't transferable, it's forcible, it's not forcible. So that serves, the front got to serve the back.
Yes. The
There's no
front
other
serves the
public
back.
access.
Good.
Makes sense. I'm trying to put some words in together.
So like this better than what we did this morning?
Yes. Can we hear it again? Yes.
Freehold estate is.
This was tricky, freehold, not tricky, challenging.
Yeah.
Freehold estates do not include, the feasible means
Free.
can be
Say
defeated.
do not include
Life estate,
feasible,
freehold estates.
not but the feasible, like it's a, ooh, child. Like estate,
Be simple.
Freehold estate.
wait a minute.
Lease. Is that-
Take that out.
Take that out.
Yeah.
Freehold estates include, all right, fee simple is a freehold estate of the highest order.
Absolutely.
Fee simple defeasible is pretty much fee simple, but it can be defeated if you do what we told you in the
Not to
deed
do.
not to do. That's one of those strings that we can pull back.
And then
Life estate is a freehold as well, based on someone's life. We had two types there. We had the person living there, or the other one is poor a victory, or
For,
yeah, you'll help me out there. You help me
Yeah.
out with my words now.
yeah,
Ultra.
Ultra
Yeah,
V.
yeah. We probably have a question over here in a second. But a lease is not freehold.
No, it's not.
Like you
But
don't have.
I thought they said that you could lease that.
You can lease a freehold estate,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have all the sticks. If you got a lease, you don't have the stick that says I can dispose of it, I can encumber it. You don't have either one of those sticks, so that's not a freehold. A life estate does not include
A remainder man. Use based on life of
We were
another.
talking about that.
Mhm. It doesn't include a remainder man.
Alright, what is a life
I think
estate?
it did at one
What
point.
is a life estate?
It ends at the conclusion of the life of either the grantor or the grantee.
The person that's holding the life estate.
The
When they
grantee.
die, it either reverts back to the original
Back to the
owner,
grantor.
or a remainder man off to like an heir.
Air
Okay.
of the grantor.
Yeah. So a life estate, how can you have a holdover?
You
In
can't.
a life estate.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if maybe someone else living there, it might not be an heir, but someone else living there.
A life estate's based on someone's life.
So.
Right, but they could be a holdover if they won't get out.
They're dead.
No, not that person. I'm talking about a family member or somebody, a friend or whatever that was living with that person. Wouldn't that be a holdover if they don't get out?
Well, the estate itself, a life estate will end
Okay.
at someone's
The
death.
state itself, okay.
And you can't have a holdover if they're dead.
Okay.
A holdover is a person that's leasing, and that's a term that goes to leasing, not ownership anyway. The leasee, if they stay after the termination of the lease, that's a holdover. And it's probably at sufferance, because you told them to get on out, and got a life estate person there, you're gonna have to get the body out.
What's the answer on
Freehold estate, no, life
Life
estate.
estate.
Life estate will not include a
that?
holdover.
Okay.
Life estate is ownership. Holdover is a term in a lease. Joint tenancy.
It does not, so it includes, joint tenancy includes title at the same time, right of survivorship,
Mhm.
and owners own same
Yes.
title, so A is the one.
Unequal possession.
Unequal possession. Joint tenants all have equal
Equal right.
possession. Now, you can have more than 2 joint tenants. You could have like 2 parents and 2 kids even, all in a joint tenancy. And if one of them dies, their part's divided among the others.
In a joint tenancy.
Mm-hmm. So they're all equal, no matter how many you've got there. It's not like tenants in common where you can have unequal ownership portions. Like if you're doing a development and you're putting up all the money, you don't want to be equal with everybody else. You're putting up all the money. I want 90% ownership or 80 or whatever we can work out. Here there's no working out. There it says on the title, PIT. Possession interest time, possession interest is our I.
Yeah.
Equal interest. All right, joint tenancy transfers to the other owner when
One owner dies.
one of the owners dies. When all the owners die, what's going to happen to it?
It's gonna
Reverts back to who the grandparents.
No.
So the heirs?
It's going to go to the heirs, depending on whether there was a will. The last one, well, you got 3 joint tenants. One of them cannot will their part to someone else.
It's
That's the whole
absorbed by
purpose.
the-
Yeah, that's absorbed into those. Now, these 2 have half interest. Now, when one of them dies, one of them's got whole interest. They got to do something with it, and that's going to go to their heirs, whoever
Or
they
they don't
will
have-
it to,
Okay.
or it's cheat. It's not going back to any of these others.
Common tenancy includes divided interest, common tenancy.
Right of survivorship. Common tenancy. Divided interest.
Yeah.
Divided interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Common
Common.
tenancy is divided interest. You got
Yeah.
100 people
Yeah,
in there, and they each
condominium.
have 1%.
Yeah.
Inheritance by intestate.
yeah.
One inheritance would indicate a will, and common tenancy, you wouldn't have a will here because it's intestate. Not transferable, yeah, it is transferable. You can will it to someone, give it to someone. Right of survivorship doesn't apply to common tenancy, it applies to which one?
Joint tenancy.
Yes, joint.
Tenancy.
So when you say common tenancy, is it what they have in common?
Yes, when you're in
Possession
the,
and
you're in the pool with the common people.
Okay, I'm thinking right. Okay, fine.
Condominium.
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 Divided.
Yeah, condo, pool, common people.
Okay,
Condo pool.
Yeah,
right.
that's how I straighten it out in my
Yeah.
head. That's my steps. No,
It's ours.
our steps.
Hours, right. So they have a divided interest.
These all include all of the following except
I didn't be over that.
B.
B,
State of
state of inheritance. That's not a lease.
Okay.
Now, thing on the lease, if a person holding the lease dies, the lease is still valid. Yeah, the lease is still valid even if the owner dies or the tenant dies, the lease is still valid.
Mhm.
It's a contract and it's going to be to their heirs. You got somebody that's living in a property and the owner dies and the whoever inherited that land wants them out, they can't. They have a right to stay there until the lease is over. Okay, leasehold estates will least likely be terminated for, I think we just talked about that one.
What, A, non-compliance of pet policy?
Steve, right?
Least likely be terminated for.
Lease line.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Yeah, we just talked about that one, so what is it? It ought to be an easy one.
Oh, sell a property.
Sell a property. It's not gonna terminate with the sale of a property. Horizontal Property Acts. You remember what that was?
Not a horizontal, not benefit of a horizontal.
Not a benefit of horizontal.
I don't remember this one.
Horizontal program? Appreciation.
Now, let's take out our not. Benefits of Horizontal Property Act. Let's start at the bottom instead of the top. Tax benefits? Yes.
Yeah.
Land cost will be less per unit? Yeah, because we're smaller properties. Less owner maintenance? Yeah, because the association owns the building. Appreciation at a constant rate? What's that got to do with it?
Horizontal Property Act, isn't that where like all the houses?
Condominium laws are also called horizontal property acts. So you need to know horizontal property acts also means because the condominiums, what made them popular was land cost was high. So if we could put more units on this same piece of land, it'll cut the overall cost down. Less maintenance, tax advantages. What was the other one?
Land costs.
Yeah, land costs less because they're going up. Now you got, 2 stories or 10 stories that are all sitting on the same piece of land. A lot of advantages there, but you can't say it's going to go up in value. That's one thing you can't say about any property now. They may not go up in value. Because remember, we have all experienced a crash.
Right.
In 07, boom. So they're not going to appreciate at a constant rate.
Right.
Generally they do, roughly 5% a year, but you can't really say that anymore. Bundle of rights.
See.
You have unrestricted use with your bundle of rights.
Mm-mm.
You don't?
You got those sticks.
You got Pete.
Yeah.
Pete's watching you. He can restrict the use, he can zone it. So
Why disposal wouldn't?
well, your bundle of rights do include disposal. You can get rid of it any way you want to.
Possession.
Exclusion, you can exclude who you want. And possession, you can possess it or let someone else possess it, but you don't have unrestricted use. Pete's gonna say, no, you don't. You can't put a toxic waste dump in your house, on your property, in the middle of this community. That's a restriction.
Unrestricted use.
Potential does not allow.
Inheritance of
unlimited use. It doesn't allow unlimited use at any time.
Yeah, you got a certain red week or whatever, the 3rd week of July. You can't come another time and say, I'm here. All right, that pretty much answered that one.
Timeshare is.
Random pay per year, changing each year. A. Or is that leased estate or random? It's
Now,
random.
you own the simple 1 week.
Okay.
And you got all, it's just like you owned it completely, except you only own
For that period, that 1 period of time. So it will be A then. It is.
I was thinking
Timeshare is?
Timeshare is
Hey.
real property.
Oh.
Oh.
It's not a random week. You don't pick the week. You just show up when you want to. You have ownership for the third week of July. Week 17 is your
But I
week.
thought you could call in and
That's what I was thinking. You call in and say, I want week
You
such and such.
well, you can swap. If they allow swapping, you can do that, but you own week 17
Okay.
So it's
with all everything that goes along with ownership. Be simple. It's not a lease. You own week 17, not 52 weeks. You just own week 17. Be simple. You've still got maintenance, taxes, what else? Upkeep. Everything that goes along with ownership, you've got with the timeshare.
Really?
One of my agents owns a timeshare. Said the worst thing she's ever done,
Really?
buy a timeshare.
Wow.
So that ain't good.
So even if you can't go, your week, then you don't even get the benefit of it.
And that's why
particular
we're
year.
talking about random weeks. Well, no, you can call them and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it on the 17th week of the year. Can you get somebody else? Can you put a tenant in there for that week? And most of them are in like resort areas, and they don't have any trouble putting a tenant in there for you. But then you can't show up the next week and say, well, I know I missed my week and you rented to somebody else, but I still want to stay here this week. Well, maybe they can put you in somebody else's unit that week. But it's fee simple ownership. It's just like you owning a house. Everything about it is just like a house.
I didn't realize you still had to pay taxes and
Absolutely. It's
everything.
just like owning a house, except you only own 1 week.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. What a concept. If I was a developer, I'd build these things everywhere I could build them.
But you don't realize you're paying property taxes because it's just bundled into whatever your cost of being on that timeshare.
Have y'all ever been to a timeshare presentation?
Oh, yeah, I have.
When they bring you into a room like this,
Oh, yeah.
and you can look at the carpet. There's a path on the carpet where they have walked everybody down here. Well, here's all the happy people in the pool. There's the pool right out there. Wouldn't you love to be in that pool right now? Oh, yeah. And they're just getting yeses. Walking you down this, and the path is worn. I mean, the carpet be worn down here. All the people that have been through here, and they just walk you around with all the benefits. And by the time you get back over here, you got your checkbook out.
You're exhausted.
Yeah, they have worn you out. They have gotten so many yes answers from you, you can't give them a no now.
What else can I say to you?
It shocks them when you give them a no. We
Yeah.
did to a couple of them, and they got actually mad.
I bet they do. They gave you a TV to come in and sit through this.
And that's what we paid for, the TV.
Or vacation.
Yeah, they'll give you 2 days
Yeah,
here.
that's what. Yeah.
I used to live in Panama City, and that was our fun time. Going to timeshare. We found out, some of them give you a meal at a nice restaurant. You can go to Captain Anderson's. Okay.
Just sit through a presentation.
Steve, you a trip.
I really don't need a week here. I live next door.
And I go there every other day.
Alright,
Co-op
where are we?
ownership is most
Co-op?
likely.
Okay.
Condominium ownership. Co-op ownership is most likely. Co-op.
Cooperative, like a cooperative, right?
Wouldn't it be a condominium?
Co-op.
co-op ownership, you actually get a lease. It's called a proprietary lease. You don't actually own your unit.
No.
You get a
So that would
lease
be a-
on it.
Columbus
Like a
is
lease.
most
What's an
like-
example of that then?
We don't have any in Alabama. They've got them in Florida. New York has got them. I'm not sure where else they've got them. But there are tax advantages to it because a corporation will be formed and they own the building and do all the maintenance and everything else on it. So you don't have to do the maintenance, and it's all split among everybody. You get tax deductions because the corporation deducts everything from taxes. The water bill, I mean, they can deduct everything. And it's just like, really, you're leasing there.
Yeah.
And you're paying probably a maintenance fee, but it's not like it's different from timeshare because you're there all the time. It's different from ownership because you don't have to do anything.
So it's different from condominiums
Yeah,
in that
different
regard.
from condominiums, because condominiums, you own this undivided interest in common areas, and then you own your airspace. With a co-op, you don't own anything. You have a lease. But you can mortgage that lease just like it was ownership. That's the weird part about it. They're not in areas like this. They don't need it. Where property values are really, really high, like say downtown New York, you may not could afford to buy a unit, but you can buy into a cooperative and just get a lease on this unit. And then when you get ready to move, you got to turn yours back in. You don't get an appreciation on it. So it's like you were kind of like a lease.
apartment.
Yes, just like leasing an apartment.
Yes, they are. Making them coins.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to take eminent domain.
Eminent domain, and the process is
Condemnation.
zoning exceptions do not include.
What is inverse?
Yeah, what is inverse use?
I don't know what that is.
Well, I like that though. I like that one. I'm not sure about any of those others, but all those others sound the same. Oh, wait a minute, I got use on 3 words here, so it must be that one.
But inverse is just, I'm like, that's reverting back to something.
Yeah,
what
that
they talked
doesn't
about.
mean anything, but
No.
that's where they get you.
Yes, it is.
They'll throw things out there, they just say, oh, I'm so confused by that word, it must be the right answer.
And I hear you say, move on, move on.
Yeah, pick C and move on.
Don't pick C, guys, don't pick C.
All right, let's take us a quick 5-minute break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and go about another hour and a half,
Okay.
and we'll call it a day.
Okay.
All right, back from break. Pete. Pete's got power. Which one of these is not one of his powers?
It's sheet. D.
The sheet is the sheet.
C.
C.
Tenants,
What should
yeah.
the T be?
Tax.
Taxes. Yeah, I mean, I got them lined up, P-E-T-E, but
But
they gonna do that.
But that T
They gonna
is
throw
not-
the T in there where there should be a T, but give you the wrong word, and you say, well, yeah, Tennessee, yeah, we talked about that a lot.
But not on P.
Not on Pete.
Natural wetlands.
Frequently
Frequently flood, habitat for wildlife.
Okay, so Tennessee. So if you're not paying attention, you'll just overlook that one. Okay.
Developments wouldn't be allowed in wetlands.
No, they wouldn't. What can you put in
We
wetland?
got frequently flood and rarely flood,
Not
But
true.
development.
so it's probably gonna be one of those.
One of the floods?
They would allow you to
Government
develop
house.
on it?
All right, let's take our knot out.
Okay, true wetland.
True
Okay.
wetlands.
Flood,
Okay.
All right,
habitat for wildlife,
Mm-hmm. Rarely flood
that's false.
and development allowed.
What would you develop on
all right,
wetlands?
can you develop anything in wetlands?
No?
No,
Not true.
so that's not. Rarely flood?
That's a not.
No.
Stay
Cause
wet.
I mean, no, it rarely floods because the water level's about the same.
Oh, so it doesn't flood cause it's always wet.
It's always,
Right.
yes, wetlands
Mhm.
always
So,
about the
hey,
same.
frequently flood, cause it ain't gonna
And
flood.
it doesn't frequently flood,
Right,
and it is a habitat.
for the wildlife.
Yeah, it is a
Alligators and
habitat.
crocodiles.
Wait a minute, now go back, which is true? It doesn't frequently flood.
Okay,
No, it
which
doesn't.
is true. Frequently flood, no.
No.
Habitat for wildlife,
Yes.
Rarely flood,
No.
No.
Development allowed? No. How many yeses do we have?
One.
Yeah, frequent,
Frequently flood, A.
So it's not true, it rarely floods,
mm-hmm.
but it is a habitat. It doesn't rarely, that's not allowed.
So A?
A,
Cause it said frequently flood, but it don't, cause
It
it's
doesn't.
always stay wet.
yeah, it's always about the same level.
Like the swamp laying down there
Yes.
in,
So if we can remember to
Knowledge.
cover up the
Wouldn't
not
that-
and
wouldn't that
the
not
accept will be
rare?
good.
Not still be the same thing?
Now frequently, and
Mm-mm.
that would be your key right there, you got
Frequently.
frequently flood
Which
or
is all
rarely
the time.
flood. It's probably gonna be one of those.
Mhm.
Okay.
Frequently is all the time.
Yeah, it's like, be like all the time, it's just every time it rains hard, it
Yeah,
floods.
but it's gonna be wet all the time.
Yeah, pretty much the same
Mhm.
level all the time.
Look at that one wrong, because I would say rarely. Come on.
Oh,
What is the CRC?
Well, that is true.
what?
It rarely floods.
Right. So which,
It don't, I mean,
Yeah, it
so
rarely
which is the
floods.
answer?
because it stayed moist, I mean, it's gonna have the same
It's
amount
not,
of water all
it's-
the time.
It's
These
not-
knots, accepts,
Yeah,
those are always tricky.
yes.
I always love the ones, is it not true?
Oh.
It's challenging. It's challenging.
It is
Yeah,
not
and then I got
true.
like, huh?
It's not true that.
I'd hate to be up on a witness stand, these lawyers that know how to use
Those
all
are them
this.
smart ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you out.
CERCLA, what's that?
Okay.
I think
That's
it's
the
A.
insurance thing, that is,
Responsible
I thought that was for the
for
cleanup.
of
Now this
toxins.
cleanup,
They are responsible for cleanup.
For cleanup of toxins. Sprayed on the.
They have street liability.
And soil. Street liability does not.
Phase
apply.
1 assessment.
Take a minute now.
phase 1 assessment, you identify who owned the
Oh,
property.
okay.
okay.
Phase 2 is you run soil samples. So, it's not that one. And you
It's A.
hit simple, strict liability does not apply, it does apply.
So it would be A.
So it's gotta be A or B. So is the owner responsible for cleanup or not responsible?
Responsible.
Responsible.
Okay.
Oh. Wow.
What happened?
Screensaver?
Yeah, I guess it went to, they said, y'all
went
been
to
doing this
sleep
long
mode."
enough, I'm ready to go
So the
sleep. Y'all go home, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me
So
too.
it's gotta be one of these.
A and B.
They're either responsible or they're not. Well, we know in the
They are.
CERCLA, that's what it's all about,
Being
responsibility. Yeah, you're
So it'll be
responsible.
B.
Uh,
Mm-mm.
What?
No, it'll be
No,
A.
it would be, yeah.
It'll be A.
Owner responsible.
kills more people?
Leon or Radon?
Radon,
Radon.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Silent killer.
that is true, that's right.
21,000 deaths from radon, lung cancer.
It's gonna do.
A.
Hey, that's just, you know the date, that's all you need to know.
1978.
It doesn't
Wait a
matter.
minute, 6.
70.
A.
It's 1978. Now, they actually quit using lead-based paint prior to that. I don't know how many years, 10 years maybe. Prior to that, they didn't use it. And that gave everybody that had some lead paint time to get it all used up. Well, of course, that's why they did it.
Yeah, you
Why
know,
would they put it off?
they gotta get it all out of Sherman Williams and stuff and
They, well, see there, they said, all right, Sherman Williams, go ahead and use all this
They
lead-based
say
paint.
you gonna have to
Because
edit that.
about 40 years from now, we're gonna take you to court and say,
Yes.
you're responsible for all this.
Don't forget to take that out. We don't want Sherman Williams
Trying to sue us.
to sue us.
Well, that's a court case. Sherman Williams just lost a court case.
They did.
$400 million, Sherman Williams and 2 or 3 other paint manufacturers are gonna have to pay to clean up lead-based paint from before the rules. Alabama Uniform Disclosure Statement includes,
Yeah. Wait a minute. We ain't have that.
that's where you need to know. We don't have one of those.
We don't have disclosures.
It looks official though, the Alabama Uniform Disclosure, all in capital letters, looks like that's a real thing.
But it's D, none of the above.
None of those.
So the one
We-
above that was radon, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Okay,
No,
okay.
the one above that?
no,
No,
no.
it was lead paint.
Even if unknown, you don't, if you know any of these things, you've gotta disclose it. But
Disclosure.
lead-based paint, all you need to know is the year the house was built.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then you
You're
can
required
tell.
to do a
Yeah.
disclosure
Wrong,
even
so
if.
it's A.
And even the disclosure doesn't say, I really know, because I've never, ever, ever had a seller say, yeah, we use lead-based paint here.
Yes.
Ever, ever.
But if you do your homework, you'll know what year the house was built, right?
Yeah,
And then you'll know when to bring it up. If
And
you have to
post
bring it
license,
up.
we're gonna show you how to look all that stuff up, and it's in the tax records.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have a uniform disclosure statement here.
Right.
The Alabama Real Estate Commission has one on their website that if you want to use it, you can, but
But
it's
it's
not
not necessary.
required.
Okay.
Closing statement's going to include
Right.
price. Yeah,
So that's D. D.
that's what the check was written for at closing.
Value, character value.
Availability of substitute?
I think that would be something that would establish value,
What?
the principle of substitution. I can get another one just like it for less next door. So that would have a value, characteristics of value.
Transferability?
Demand, would that have anything to do with it? Yeah. Transferability, if I can't transfer it to you, not much value to it. Cost. It was built in 1950 and it cost $15,000 to build.
But you're not looking at that.
Nothing to do with today's value.
Okay, yeah.
So it's cost.
Supply factors. Here we got our, remember who we got in our picture for our supply? We got a construction worker, got his tool belt on. He's got this big old golden nail. He's gonna drive it through the White House all the way in through the Federal Reserve. So which one of those are not on our list?
Physical policy.
Physical policy.
Fiscal policy, that sounds like something that was on the other list. No, wait a minute. No, it's not.
Why you trying to
Supply
put
factors
Does not
do include, they do include fiscal policy.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
That was the Federal Reserve.
It's
Golden Nail went through the White House into the Federal Reserve. Federal
What about the
Reserve
government
is
policy?
fiscal policy. The White House is government policy.
Right, and then
The construction nail,
Yeah.
gold nail, is construction costs.
Employment
I got that
rates.
one on the list, I got that one on the list, I got that one on the
But
list.
not
See.
employment.
Oh, I
See.
don't remember employment, that was over, that was the other picture.
Yes.
We had the unemployed person holding hands with the old person who was holding the baby.
Right.
That's population growth, demographics, and employment rates. All right, so this next one should be a lot easier to answer.
Demand does not include.
Available supply.
It's,
Employment rate, growing population.
Our growing
Demand.
population, that's our
that
baby.
is, that's.
Employment rates, that's the unemployed person.
Dem-
And
Demographics
demographics,
is
that's the
okay,
old
so
person.
D is.
And it's D, available.
Available supply. What does available supply have to do with demand?
Isn't that the opposite of demand, supply?
I got 4 million hula hoops in a warehouse over here.
4 million hula hoops. Okay.
Doesn't mean it's.
What's that got to do with demand? Nobody wants them. I got 4 million of them though.
Oh, Lord, we'll pass them out for Christmas.
Demand does not include availability.
Supply, no, demand would have, no.
Oh,
Supply and demand are opposites of the coin.
right,
So your demand doesn't have anything to do with supply.
right.
Supply increases as demand falls. What happens to price?
Supply increases.
All right, we got,
Demand falls.
now we got 5 million hula hoops. Now we got 6 million hula hoops.
When it falls.
Price
And-
rise.
And demand, nobody,
Goes down.
there's even
Nobody wants it.
fewer people want them.
Yeah.
but I'm still adding them to the
Falls.
warehouse, yeah.
It falls, the price falls.
It's gonna fall. If I can get it down low enough, maybe somebody will buy one.
You might have to.
15 cents on the dollar.
Supply increase.
You might have to just
So
give
if
them
you got too
away.
many of them, the prices gonna have to
Which is
fall.
not method of determining market value.
Cost to replace,
Trying to market value.
You look at the cost of replace,
Wow.
don't you, and the past sales, prices of current homes on the market. Probably the income approach is gonna be the one
Yeah,
that is
I would
not.
say income approach.
What is the income approach?
What are our three
One of the
methods of
methods.
determining value? The appraiser is a CSI investigator.
Yeah.
CSI, we got, C is
Cost.
cost, S is sales, I is income.
Interest. Oh, I thought it was interest.
Now, we
Okay.
got anything on there that's not on that list?
Cost, sales.
Price of
Price on
current
current home.
Current homes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That'll give us a clue, because that tells you this price is too high.
Yeah.
But these other things, cost, sales, income.
CSI.
Yeah, CSI, there they are, CSI.
Determines the market value.
Mhm.
CSI determines market value.
Which is not enough.
Now, the past sales is what gonna give you the best number. If we're looking at residential property, we wanna look at what has sold around here in the last little short period of time, just like this one. That's gonna give us the best estimate of our market value. The price, the homes that are on the market now, that's kind of best case hopeful price. I hope I can get this much. You know, we think we can get $350 for it. Why don't we put it on for $375 and see what happens? Well, that really is not going to determine the price. The ones that have expired, that tells you that price was too high. But what has sold, the past sales, that's the number we like. That means here's what somebody wrote the check for, and somebody else will probably write another one like this one. CSI, which is not a market cycle. And we had a little picture.
Supply, recession.
I had the picture when they started we talked about the Avondale.
Yeah,
It was all new.
Right.
All new is
Growth.
growth,
Mm-hmm.
and then once it
Oversupply.
settled in, we had maturity,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah, the
we didn't have, I don't remember oversupply being on the list.
No, no.
And then recession,
We had that.
and that's when that thing, they're kind of falling apart. They're,
Age and.
yeah,
So we see.
so it's oversupply, not a market cycle.
Which is not a form of obsolescence.
See,
External, optional,
Economical, external, physical.
I think it's C.
A functional?
it's not a form of obsolescence.
D, none of the above.
Because the physical, the external, and the economic could have something to do with it being, that's
Yeah,
becoming obsolete, right?
Yeah,
Right?
a form of them,
Which
which are.
is a form of obsolescence. Right? Functional obsolescence was the
not.
5-bedroom, 1 bath.
Okay.
We had that one, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
economic,
click that one off.
yeah.
Okay.
Economic obsolescence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that one on our list. Y'all remember economic obsolescence on the list?
Mm-hmm.
We had an external obsolescence, a toxic waste dump open next door,
Mm-hmm.
and physical obsolescence. We didn't take care of the place.
Mm-hmm.
It fell apart. So economic would not be one of our forms of obsolescence.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of them process of elimination
Right.
on some of these. Knock out the ones I know that one's there. And if you can get it down to 2, at least you got a 50-50 chance of guessing the right
That's
one.
right. There's gonna be a lot of that going on.
Which one of these is a type of depreciation?
Straight
Straight
line. Approved.
Which
Unit in place.
So which ones are?
Yeah,
Yeah, depreciation.
Which one? Not.
I don't remember any of them.
Straight line. Straight
Mine
approved.
is.
Unit in place method. Steve,
That's not even.
I honestly don't know, what is it?
depreciation, you can have two kinds of depreciation.
Okay.
Actual,
Okay,
which has to do with the structure itself,
okay.
and then accounting accounting
Okay,
depreciation.
okay.
On straight line depreciation, that's where you're gonna write off the value of this property over so many years, same amount every year, different classes of property, different years, but it's the same every year, straight line. Remainder, I don't remember us ever talking about remainder depreciation.
No.
Y'all remember, we ever talked about that? No. Accrued, that's another accounting depreciation, nothing to do with actually the property, but it's how much appreciation has accrued over this period. And then unit in place, that's another accounting. How much would it cost to replace this unit and then get out a book? It's, this year, this building's 50 years old and it was made out of block. It's worth about this much to rebuild. Still accounting. All of these were accounting methods. We could have had depreciation up here where we're not taking care of the place. These are specific to the property, and then this is more of accounting stuff here. Y'all probably not gonna have accounting on there, but no, you could have one of these up in one of these answers.
Okay. So the answer is A?
Remainder,
Oh,
Remainder is the answer.
what is not,
Okay.
because,
Oh, yeah, cause the straight line is right over here.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
so much per year.
Yeah.
The cost to cure. That's our 5-bedroom, 1-bath house. We talked about that one. Can we fix it for a reasonable amount of money? Is it gonna cost us more to change one of those bedrooms to a bathroom than it's worth to do it? Well, going from a 5-1 to a 4-2, I can probably put some money in that and get it back. So, cost to cure is going to refer to
See?
obsolescence. 5-bedroom, 1-bath, I probably can't fix that. Cost to cure, nothing to do with taxes.
No.
Income approach is how we determine the value of an income producing property.
Right.
And an appreciation, what's that got to do with cost to cure? Nothing. It's obsolescence here. The cost to cure refers to, can we fix it and get our money back for what it costs to fix it? Value is not affected by what? Seller needs. The market doesn't care what the seller needs. In fact, the market would like for the seller to be up against the wall and 4 months behind on their payments.
Oh, goodness. That ain't right.
All those other things, condition, location, and property rights, all will affect value. Cost basis.
Production costs, all costs associated with sales, initial cost based depreciation.
That's a D. This is another accounting. Cost basis is an accounting term that means what it costs to buy the property right now, including all the costs of the sale. That's our cost basis the day of the sale. Now, we're going to start depreciating it for taxes. Over so many years, we're going to take some of that money and deduct it from their taxes. So replacement costs wouldn't have anything to do with taxes. Reproduction costs, nothing to do with the taxes. All costs with the sale, no. It's going to be the initial cost, started today, and then we start depreciating, and each year our cost basis changes. It's dropping. because we're getting that back as a credit on income tax. CMA, y'all remember what CMA meant?
See,
Competitive market.
Market analysis.
See,
C, competitive market analysis. Doesn't mean client, means agency? No, that doesn't make any sense. Those others don't make any sense either. Who makes up a CMA?
Does it appraiser?
Appraiser, right? No.
agents.
An agent gonna do a CMA.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
what you do
appraiser
for-
does an appraisal.
he knows somebody can do that. Just give
And
it-
he's the only one that can do it. You can't call our CMA an appraisal. Even if you came up with the exact same number he did, you still can't call yours an appraisal.
Because you gotta have a real one.
Yeah, he's got
Accurate.
generally accepted appraisal principles or something. They got rules they go by. And if they have to deviate from those rules, they've got to explain why.
What was the answer?
Why the certified marketing, what is that actually?
Okay.
Just a made up word.
Well, which one you're looking at?
D.
I got it.
Which one?
On this one?
Oh, who complies?
Oh, yeah.
CMA?
Who complies,
Who
CMA.
compiles?
Compiles.
Compiles, I'm sorry.
Oh, who compiled? Yeah,
Oh.
certified marketing actuary. Well, I had to think some of it was a C.
Oh, okay.
Certified marketing.
That's the
So
word.
what can I use for an A word?
Actuary.
Actually weird.
You know, he good at them words
I
now.
know.
I mean, I can spell them.
I was thinking the same thing.
Spell check will get me on
Yeah.
most of them, but meets and what's that?
I was thinking the same thing. I said, don't say it, let him say it.
It's
Right,
okay.
information not used in the CMA. What is it?
Pay sales, gross rent multiplier.
Information, okay, so information used, you would consider past sales.
That would be the thing you're looking at the most.
Probably gross rent multiplier you would not call, because you want to know cost per square foot and then
Yeah.
characteristics of the property, so you can compare it. So B,
That gross rent multiplier is gonna be more of a check to make sure you're kinda in the right neighborhood on your price. It's a quick, like if you know everything around here costs about $100,000 and they're all renting for $1,000 a month, that's a gross rent multiplier of 100. It's 100 times the rent. I mean, well, that'd be 100,000 to 100,000. So that's a gross rent multiplier, but there's no place on that for your CMA analysis. You're gonna have sales, where you get CSI, cost, sales, and income approach. Gross rent multiplier is not on that list. So that's the one that would not be there. Capitalization rate.
Rate capital is used, rate of return on investment, tax rate tables, CMA
B,
multiplier.
rate of return.
Capitalization rate.
That's, that ain't got nothing to do with it.
It's not easy.
B or C.
Rate of return on investment.
Yeah, that's what that is. That's
Capitalization
also,
rate.
capitalization rate's also known as ROI, return on investment.
So that's what I
Yes.
was looking
And see,
for.
there it is, return on investment. I like that one. I like that one, Beth. Rate capital is used. That's a capital.
Right.
I thought y'all would like that one. Pick that one. Appraisals most likely ordered by who?
The mortgagee.
The mortgage,
Good.
I
The
got
mortgagee
right.
gets the fee. And they're the ones that order the appraisal.
Yes.
go, Ontario, go, girl.
Just about it.
Loan to value.
Loan to value.
Value.
That was an easy one. We got all these other lender to value, loan type verifier, and value to lender.
Loan type verifier.
Yeah, you just.
Sometimes I have to get my thesaurus out.
I can believe it.
Um,
Loan.
Sales
G.
price.
Wait a minute. point equal 1% of.
Percent of loan.
Loan,
Furnished upon.
Yes, the loan is
1% of loan.
1% of the loan.
Now, where you mess up is you think it's
Not
a
the
percent of the
not the
sales
sale
price.
Sale price.
They have nothing to do with what the.
No.
Yeah, a point's gonna be based on the loan.
Loan.
Origination fee, same thing. Think of that as a point. That's a percentage of the loan. Different from this one. Brokerage fee, that's gonna be a percentage of
Commission.
Sale price.
sales
Sale
price.
price.
You're right.
It is the commission. That's right.
PMI,
Private mortgage.
private mortgage insurance. So yeah, that's the way I wanna hear this stuff. I don't wanna hear you read them all and guess. Just boom, you heard it and bam, it's private mortgage insurance. I don't have to read them all. Now I gotta go in there and look and find that one.
I wish it all come out like that.
Right.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Pre-qualified. Okay.
It does not, it's not based on verified information.
Right.
Pre-qualification
It's not-
letter is.
You haven't verified anything. It's not
Because I know
based
it's
on a
not
phone
B&B.
call with the mortgage provider.
Yeah, and I don't think it's B&B because I'm pretty much just.
Well, yes, it is.
Well-
It is part of it.
This says pre-qual, you got pre-approval, then pre-qualified. Pre-approval is a phone call.
Okay.
Pre-qualified.
Pre-qualified is they verified that information.
Okay.
So that's gonna be our true answer here. So we knew that one was wrong because that's
Approval.
Approval.
yeah, pre-approval. Quick ratio of income. What? Where does that come in? Quick ratio.
After
That's the,
They're doing
that's
the
the
rate.
loan.
The pre-
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is, quick ratio is not verified. Quick ratio, you talk to, pre-qual is gonna be a phone call where you say, yeah, I make this much, and then you say, tick, click, click, click. That's a quick ratio of your income there on the phone call on the pre-approval. The only one that's pre-qualified is the verified.
Verified income.
So, but we're looking for the not.
Um,
Is not based on.
Maybe I got that backwards. Pre-qual, yeah, it should be pre-qual letter is based on.
Is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be is,
Is.
this one.
Is based on verified
Wait,
information. Okay.
Yeah, approval is not here.
So this is.
This is.
Y'all like that better?
Yes.
Zone pre-qualification based on, here we go, now it makes sense. Verified information.
Pre-qualification letter is based on.
Put the ears
I
in
didn't do
there.
good on grammar either,
That's
man.
okay, that's okay, it all got to do with that.
Hey, you our teacher.
Credit not based on.
There you go.
Trying to help you make your subject
We're
verb.
good now. Credit is not based on
Character.
character. Well, we got a bunch of C's there.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
It is based on your capacity to repay,
Mm-hmm.
your continued employment, got to have 2 years verifiable, and collateral. We just going to give them a signature loan on a house?
Oh,
No, we're going to have security interest in that house, collateral. Most important issue with credit is
credit history.
credit history. That is about, I think the graphic we have is 34% of the decision is based on credit history. What do our credit scores run, the FICO numbers?
300 to 900.
I thought 350 to 850.
350 to 850 is what I've got. 300 to 900, 250 to, no, that one's the one I like.
100 to 1,000.
No, you may not have a loan.
Right, you know, that's a good
You got 1,000, why you need a loan? Got money buried out in the backyard. It's a pity.
Principal, interest, and taxes.
And insurance.
Insurance.
Okay. Loan ratios. And let's just say this is conventional.
2841.
2841.
2841.
Oh, I missed that one.
So this is gonna be conventional?
Is that the number?
Cause I thought it was 20.
Yeah.
We're making a convention.
Okay.
What? Talking about, the 2841?
We're making it a conventional.
Now we made a conventional loan.
Okay.
I said, where did I get that?
Front end number.
Front end number.
Front end
Yeah,
number?
total debt to total income, D.
That's back end.
Oh, shit.
Income
It's-
kitty? That's what interest, taxes.
Now
and
front,
insurance.
right here, front end number.
Front end
That's
number.
actually,
Oh, A, right?
yeah, it's gonna be, this number is your front end number, that's
Right.
your back end number. This is your income to house payment. This is income to total debt. So our front end number is gonna be income to the house payment.
I've never seen it like that. Okay.
I
Wow.
mean, income to tax payment and income to debt.
Yeah, income to house payment, housing cost.
Like you, like a,
Cost of the house and then.
Yeah.
Maybe we use
the
the computer.
the front end is T, so it's based on, if I make 40,000, you can get this amount of house.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Straw
go-
buyer.
I've heard of that.
Keep it simple too when you're thinking about it.
Mhm.
Your front end number is about a week's pay.
Okay.
28% of your income, that's about a week's pay. Title insurance protects what?
It doesn't protect against incorrect survey.
Insurance.
It doesn't protect against forged deeds.
It does.
It does.
Title insurance does protect forged deeds.
It
That's,
does.
on this list, that's all it protects.
Oh, okay.
Incorrect
What's
taxes.
straw buyer?
Straw buyer, it probably would protect against that. A straw buyer is someone that really is not the buyer. That's part of fraud. When we get into mortgage fraud, a straw buyer is somebody that's buying the property, but they're really not buying it. They're buying it to bump the price up. So you're gonna buy it at this next price, and then they look back and say, well, it just sold for this. But it really didn't sell for that. That was a straw buyer that paid that for it.
Oh, like they, just a random person that pays too much for it.
Well, it's probably part of a fraud scheme.
Okay.
You're trying to get a $100,000 loan on a house that you can get for $25,000. Well, she'll go over here and buy it and pay $70,000 for it. Now the new tax record said, well, it just sold for 70. And now you're going to go to the loan company and say, I want to buy it and pay 100. That's, oh, well, we can't give you 100 of it, but we could give you 80 based on this past sale. She
So
was
you
a
made a
straw buyer.
$10,000. So you made a $10,000 profit.
Well, her money was fake money anyway.
Oh.
So you went from 30, a house that's worth 30, now she can get a loan for 70 because this straw buyer came in and said they paid 70 for it. And she may have had 70,000 in cash that she paid for it.
What, counterfeit money?
No, she could have had 70,000 in cash that she paid for it, but now we've got a number here that says, hey, this house sold for 70,000. And the appraiser says, okay, it sold for 70. We'll give you, y'all come in and put a coat of paint on it and some new carpet, and now we think it's worth, you think it's worth 100, but the appraiser says, no, it's not worth 100, but it just sold for 70, and done all this work, it's probably worth 80 or 85. Then they'll give her a loan for that. She pays the straw buyer off and walks away with all this profit. It's going to be it's fraud. If you, anytime you got a straw buyer involved, it's to commit fraud. Amortized loan.
Loan.
It's dead.
That's right. Mort means death. It's a level payment. Remember, each payment's the same.
For a long time.
For a long time, not a short time. And it's not interest only or principal only. If it'd be principal only, it'd be no interest on that loan. You gonna get many of those? Probably not.
Adjustment rate, loan, we'll just see rate periodically.
Periodically. They will have, when you get the loan, it'll say, okay, it's locked in for 5 years at this rate, and then at year 6, it'll jump to prime plus something. And then it'll reset again maybe a year or 2 years later, and it'll have caps in here that it can only adjust 2% or 3% in a year. Yours didn't have that? Well, they should have.
It was a second mortgage.
Yeah, it'll lock in for a period, but then it's going to adjust.
Amortized loan was interest only.
Now, amortized is going to have principal and interest in it. Level payment for a period of time. The ones now are 30-year loans.
That's for a long period of time.
Yeah, that'd be a long period of time.
Okay.
To me, it would.
Yeah, it's a long
When did
period.
the 30-year loans come about?
Sometime, I'm gonna say around World War II, probably the VA, FHA. I think the first FHA loans were 20 years, and then they expanded out. I've heard people they're talking about 40-year loans now.
When the market crashed, they were offering those where you had like the length of time as though it was a 40, but you had the balloon payment where once you get to that end of that 30, then it was going to be a balloon payment. So you really technically didn't have a 40-year, but you were paying
The price of a 40.
All kinds of ways to finance. Creative finance.
But that one was hurting people too. But they figured folks weren't going to be in the house that
At
way.
a discount point,
Funds.
Paid at the beginning.
Paid at the
beginning,
beginning of the
yeah, that's
loan.
when you pay the discount points, right up. We're gonna get the loan, and it's gonna be a 1.5 points.
At the beginning.
Y'all didn't like that discount for timely payments? I like that one.
RESPA, is that C?
See?
What's that Consumer Disclosure Act?
No?
I thought
It's
RESPA was
none
a
of those. It's Rebel State
fair.
Settlement Procedures Act, and you got protection of it.
We don't have that
It's not
consumer
up there.
disclosure in Alabama.
No, pertaining to loans.
There you go. You're reading
It's the
too much
right.
into it. You're looking at all those pretty acronyms and, oh, it's
Truth
got
in lending, that's the truth in lending.
Yeah, RESPA's a federal law that levels the playing ground. That's part of that where you were talking earlier about you got a trigger term.
Yeah.
That's where RESPA. You got anything. You say it's $4.99 a month, and you got to say, well, what's the interest rate? What's the total amount of interest? So how many payments? You got all these other terms. In fact, the next one's probably going to
I got that one wrong. Look, I got that
but
one.
RESPA is going to be pertaining to law, the loans. Well, that's our RECAD.
Yeah, that's RECAD, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you look familiar.
Now,
familiar.
real estate salesperson protectionability.
That's not
I
even.
don't remember that one either, but I had to come up with some letters.
So see, I'm glad you put that in, because now they can start paying attention.
Land sale contract. Land sale contract. Land sale contract. Vendor finance.
Hey,
My bank sale.
undeveloped land.
Vendor financing?
Yes, seller. Another word for vendor is sellor. And your land sale contracts is going to be where the seller is holding the mortgage. They're also holding the title.
Oh, so it's a vendor.
Vendor financing. Conforming loans have all of the following except
Credit worthiness.
Subprime exception?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Subprime exception, what is that? These other things, yeah. Conforming means that the loan is written to conform to the standards that can be sold into the secondary market. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac will buy it. And if the income ratios, debt ratios, or credit worthiness don't conform, they can't sell it in the secondary market. HELOC. D, yes, it's similar to a revolving credit line. You get like a HELOC for $10,000. You can use that $10,000 in credit today, or you can dribble it out over 5 years.
Home equity line of credit.
Yeah, home equity line of credit is what that stands for. But it's got a time on it too. It's like for 10 years. And at the end of 10 years, if you still owe them money, you're going to have to refinance, maybe do something else. But it's a whole lot like a revolving credit.
Not a government-related loan. Portfolio?
Portfolio, that's where you did not meet income, debt, or credit worthiness, but the mortgage broker says, you know, you're really great, you just don't have enough income. Your credit's good, the collateral's good, everything's really good, but we can't sell this loan in the secondary market. We'll hold it ourselves and probably bump the interest rate up a little bit because you can't get anywhere else. They got you.
So you said the credit worthiness wasn't met on that one?
Yeah, well, a conforming loan, they can sell that into the secondary market because your income, debt, and credit worthiness are all okay. But let's just say your income ratios are out of balance. Your debt's okay, your credit's okay, you're okay except for something. And they think, well, you make a good loan, you're making $1 million a year, we'll hold the loan ourselves. We won't sell it into the secondary market. And that's why you would do that.
Maybe they haven't been on their job long enough.
Could be something like that. And they're saying, oh, we'll hold it as a portfolio loan for 3 years, and then you got to refinance. But, they want to work with you. They get paid when they loan money.
What is USDA?
Department of Agriculture.
In terms of the loan?
That's going to be like a rural area. They're trying to get people to move maybe to...
so there is a such loan?
Yeah.
USDA, okay.
And it's going to be 100% loan too.
They want people to move out there.
Yeah, they want people to move out and develop these areas, which they also will, the part of the down payment, if you stay there so many years, they'll forgive. You know, it'd be like part of a grant. It's a pretty complicated little program, but if you fit in their box, your income, you've got to have pretty much everything fit in this little box. You can't make over, I think it's 125 or 150% of the median income. If you're over that, you can't get one. But if you fit in the box, it's a good loan. I guess any loan's a good loan if you get the house you want. So I can move in Monday.
No, now.
How much? My interest rate's how much? Government, which one of these is guaranteed by the government?
FHA.
VA.
VA is guaranteed by the government.
Guaranteed,
FHA is
guaranteed.
insured by the government. Conventional, if it has insurance, it's going to be private mortgage insurance. Who doesn't buy in the secondary market?
Sally Mae.
Sally Mae. She does student loans.
Right.
Loan with the least down payment. I got 2 on there with the least down payment.
So it would be what?
Yeah, I need to work on that one.
I would assume because they have 100.
You can make that conventional.
Oh, with the lease.
Yeah.
Well,
Capitalize since everything else.
Right. You qualify for that.
Put your caps on.
They put points and stuff on it.
There you go.
T-I-O-N-A-L. Alright, there we go. Lease down payment in that group's gonna be
VA.
VA. Which one of these most likely have 3.5% down payment?
FHA.
FHA. Payment default triggers which one?
Acceleration.
Acceleration clause, yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a sheet.
Clause triggered by the sale.
What, alienation?
Alienation. That's the one, if you sell it, you gotta pay off the loan.
Title theory.
Title theory.
Holds title. Mortgage, holds title, title company holds title. Defeasance clause applies.
Alabama is a title theory state. That means that the mortgage or the one with the door gets title.
So back to title theory.
In title theory, the mortgagee, the mortgagor gets the door. The person that living in the house, they hold the title. And Alabama is a title theory state.
So we do
Okay.
get the title?
Yeah, we hold the title as the person living in the house, the mortgagor.
Oh, okay.
We hold title.
Mortgage or, oh, we have a mortgage.
Are you good?
Trigger terms does not include puffing.
Puffing.
Yeah.
And that's a term you'll probably only hear in real estate.
When the trigger term payment managers must also disclose. Advertise rate?
Yeah, that one, I got two good ones on there. When the trigger terms use the payment amount or trigger term, when a trigger term payment amount is used, must also include the APR,
Right.
not advertised rate. Advertised rate,
The annual percentage rate.
yeah, APR is the one it would have to include. Income requirements, it wouldn't trigger that. The price of the home, I think that would be something we'd have to talk about. That should be disclosed, as should be the down payment if you did that. So either one of these would be a trigger. I gotta fix that one.
Oh, so APR?
Yeah. What can we put there that's,
A trigger term?
yeah, that's not
That is or is not a trigger term?
a trigger term. Let's see, we got, this should be, I don't know, we can put, no, got advertise, that's not income requirements. Down payment, debt ratios.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the answer is A,
The answer's gonna be down payment.
down payment. Okay.
If you say, all right, the payment is $4.99 a month, that's gonna depend on down payment,
Right.
but it wouldn't depend on these other things. RESPA does not apply to,
It does apply to kickbacks.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about.
watch not,
I know.
not where it'll trip you up.
So let's say it does apply. It applies to kickbacks. It applies to broker-to-broker payments.
No, that's the one it doesn't apply to. That's the only exception to RESPA, is broker-to-broker
Oh,
payments.
that's right.
It applies to kickbacks, payment for work not done. That's kind of like a kickback. Well, I made this report up for you, and it's $1,000, but it really
It's a fake.
fake.
Okay.
Bait and switch.
How would that apply?
I'm not even sure how that even fits in the picture, but it looks good.
God dog it.
Broker-to-broker payments. Well, actually, bait and switch does repile RESPA, because RESPA's having to do with loans, and you're not allowed to bait them with a loan and then switch them over to another loan. Broker to broker payments, those are allowed.
No kickback.
No kickbacks.
Paid for work not done.
No.
No, that's a kickback. They can give home features.
Mm-hmm.
The broker? No, not the
Mortgage
broker.
broker.
I'm thinking the
Mortgage broker.
real estate
Yeah.
broker. Giving information on mortgages.
Mortgages, yeah. If they're giving information on the home
He's
features,
not a licensed.
that's a barn
licensee.
sale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's
So
not
he can't.
licensed.
So he can't give
So.
home features at the open house.
Open house.
He can talk to them about loans.
Mhm.
That's it.
It's a mortgage, it's not a real estate
So
broker, it's a mortgage broker.
Please.
First one does not require, it does require documents to be delivered within 2 days.
So that's 48 hours. That should be a big clue to the next one.
So that's a no on B.
So no on B. Yes on C.
Shopping for your home, yes, and a good
And
payment
yes
is
on D.
required, so B.
The B is 36 hours.
Predatory lending practices do not include
Asking about
steering
marriage.
borrowers to high rate and encouraging frequent financing, make loans to borrowers who do, asking about marital status.
Yeah, the mortgage guy is going to ask you,
That's a part
are you
of it.
married? Yeah, that's
So
part of it.
if you have more than one income.
Yeah, more than one income, or is there somebody else here that you
Or be
still married to
responsible.
that's, yeah, they gonna wanna know that. But they can't hold that against you, whether you're married or not. But they're gonna ask you. Those other things, steering, this is like the bait and switch. I was like, oh yeah, we got this really great loan here, but I'm sorry, you don't quite qualify for it.
So the answer was what, A?
The answer was A.
A, okay.
Recare creates agency.
No,
It doesn't create agency?
It's not.
No, you have to give them the disclosure.
Just a
Real
disclosure.
estate Consumer Disclosure Act.
yep, there we go. We had that one earlier with RESPA. It was the same one. Real estate licensee is most likely this type of agent.
You say like a general life.
Special.
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 That's what we are as a real estate agent. We're special.
Interact with the public. How many?
Transaction broker.
Transaction broker. And now that ostensible means you're pretending,
Okay.
which is like implied, which is illegal. Fraud. Real estate licensee relationship with their broker is a sub-agent. Which duties do transaction on real estate licensee not owe the public?
Which is not on the public?
Disclosure of material fact.
Agency.
Agency, because it says transactional.
Right.
Which duty does a transactional real estate licensee owe the public?
Well, shoot, I want to see,
Reasonable care.
Reasonable care. They owe that to the public. They don't owe, it's transactional, so they can't give their opinion, their advice, or they really not give them loyalty either.
Now, this is page 14 and we have 27. So we can do 13 or you can do 14.
And we're on what page now?
Page 14.
We're on 14? Well, why don't we finish 14?
Okay.
It's 1:45. We could go through another page.
Okay.
Right, we're going.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Which duty does agency not create with public?
Okay, does not create or cover.
D, right?
D, subagency. Agency is created by?
Shake hands. Written agreement.
Written agreement.
Okay.
Only way you can create agency.
Agency may not be determined, may not
I know.
be determined by.
You and me both.
May not be
Yeah,
determined-
disclosure.
Terminated.
That don't have nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Okay, wait.
Agent need not disclose
That's the ABCDEF.
Unknown fact.
unknown facts, or you don't know them, how you gonna disclose it?
Yeah, just lie, just to talk.
Oh,
Agent.
Agreement in the ABCDEF.
License number. Agent will disclose.
D was like death or destruction.
Mm-mm. Not as far as cousin. They have to disclose dual agency. And that's it.
That's it.
Mhm.
Agent must disclose dual agency. Cousin, not
Ain't
one of
got
their,
nothing to do with it.
parent,
Parent,
child,
spouse.
spouse.
License
Listing
number.
agreement.
Listing agreement includes all the following except
Not the legal description of the property. Or yes.
It should.
Agreement
It should,
includes all of the.
Not the buyer name.
buyer name. When you list the property, you don't know who the buyer is yet.
Yeah.
Buyer name.
Listing agreement does not include.
What's a broker protection clause?
Broker protection clause is right after you state what the commission is. It says if this sale, if anyone that the broker has shown the property to buys it within the next, say, 90 days, the broker still gets paid, with the exception of the seller listed with another brokerage. But like, let's just say, here's the deal. You've got the house listed, and you've been showing it, and a bunch of people have been in it, and one of them gets up to the seller and says, when's the listing agreement over? And
One.
the seller says, in 2 weeks. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And then they just disappear. And then your listing agreement expires. Next thing you know, this buyer you've been working with, you were doing transaction broker because you didn't get a buyer agency with them to protect you, goes to that seller and said, okay, I'm ready to buy. Well, we just cut all that commission out now. The broker protection clause said you still get paid because you were the procuring cause of that buyer. What you wanted to do though was get a buyer agency with this buyer, because if you don't have buyer agency with him, who are you really working for?
The seller.
The seller anyway. Licensee acting as a transaction broker works.
Did we answer the question?
No.
Listing
No, we
agreement does
didn't.
not include. It does not include.
Listing agreement does not include.
Broker license number.
Right.
Okay.
Some states that's required.
Come at the broker license?
Yeah.
Number.
Some they have to have that.
Okay.
Here we don't. In fact,
Okay.
there's very few people that know their license number.
I bet you know yours.
I have to use it a lot.
Okay.
Uh,
You.
I've actually got 6 licenses that all the same number, but each time you get another license,
They put a
they just
one,
add a
two.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And as you get different companies, instructor, that's a license, and then with each company there's a license. I mean, and each one's $200.
Ooh-wee. And who's got the
Licensee
money?
acting.
As a transaction broker works for,
Put acting as a.
Licensee acting as, okay.
Works for selling broker.
Acting as.
Is it the selling broker, not the listing broker? Or the listing broker, selling broker?
Listing broker and selling
Listing
broker would be the
is
same, wouldn't it?
yeah.
No,
No?
we just had that discussion.
we just had,
Licensee acting, that would be. a
Selling broker
listing
and listing broker.
For listing broker, with listing broker.
Oh, with, it's definitely one of the with, because you transaction.
Goes from client to customer, see, for and with,
Right.
right?
Oh, for
Maybe-
working for.
But why would A and B not be the same?
Because for is with agency and transaction broker doesn't have agency.
A transaction broker doesn't have agency.
I'm just saying
And if
it's
you
for-
don't have a buyer agency agreement with your buyer, you're working for the seller.
But wouldn't A and B be the same if that's the case? Selling broker and
A-
listing broker?
For selling broker, for listing broker. With selling broker, with listing broker. With means
Customer,
customer,
Customer.
for means agency.
yeah.
Well, you don't have agency with any of these people.
No.
So you're working with them, and it's the listing broker, because you're working at it, you just I'd take you over and show you the house.
Okay.
You haven't established agency with anybody, so it's gonna be with.
With the listing broker.
And this is the part right here that confuses everybody. Listing broker and selling broker. Well, I'm
Yeah.
working for the seller, so who am I?
The listing.
The listing broker, even though I'm the selling broker, but if you're the listing broker, you are the listing broker working for the seller.
So who's
If
the
you're the
selling broker?
selling broker, you're working with the buyer.
Oh, selling broker.
That was a good
Selling
question.
broker.
Selling broker works with the buyer.
Selling
Okay.
broker.
Well, actually, you would have an agency with them, so selling broker works for the buyer.
So you're, I'm still good.
Alright, well, it's
That's a
confusing,
good one.
that's
That's a good
it.
one.
This, Tara and I had a discussion at lunch about who's the listing, who's the selling broker. Because the selling is the part that throws you off.
Right.
You are a listing broker, you're working
So this
as
is,
agency, working for the seller.
Right. I got that.
Now, if you're working with the buyer, you're not a listing broker.
Right.
You're the selling broker who's working with the buyer. That's where we have a hard time making that little jump.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm the selling broker, wouldn't I be working for the seller? No.
You're the listing broker in that case.
Yeah, you're the listing broker if you work for the seller.
And the selling broker always works with the buyer.
Yes,
Okay, I'll just have to remember.
works
so,
for.
Works for, yeah. 'Cause you
so when it's for, like the A and B, that's agency and C and D is
Yes,
non-agency? Okay.
yes. That's agency for. Non-agency is transaction, so we're up here, the licensee's acting as a transaction broker, so they don't have a relationship with anybody, so you're really working with the selling broker.
Buying broker.
I mean,
That's not
the
just
listing
buying
broker.
broker. Yeah, there's no such thing as a buying broker.
For buying.
Correct.
Okay.
You could call it the buyer's broker,
The buyer's broker.
Non-agency.
Right, but that's
But
not.
you're the
and that would just confuse you even
You're
more.
the selling broker working for the buyer.
Mhm.
Okay. So the leasing acting as a transaction broker works
With,
With.
because there's no agency agreement.
With the selling, with the
with
listing.
the listing broker.
Yeah, yes, D is their answer. They like this question too because you forget about the company license.
Right.
Or,
B.
Because the question says brokerage with 3 salespeople
Oh.
and 1 administrative assistant. Do they need a license?
No.
No, but there's somebody missing up there.
Business.
The broker's missing. It says brokerage. That's the company license. 3 salespeople, there's 3 more license.
the broker has a license.
But the broker's got to have a license too, so there's
The company
5
itself has a
license
Right.
for this.
It's 5, it's C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Be
the
fine.
brokerage has 1, the broker,
Yes,
and then the 3 sales.
Yes.
Okay.
but the administrative assistant, that's an unlicensed person.
Brokerage.
Okay. So it's 5, not 6,
Okay.
right?
Yes,
Broker, 3 salespeople
and the
in
brokerage
the brokerage.
company.
The
Okay.
company. Mhm.
And that's the one most people will miss.
Right.
They forget that the
Broker,
company's got a license.
And company, brokerage.
Yeah, the company, the broker, and the three
broker.
salespeople. So that's 5.
3, 4, 5, okay. I'm really confused sometimes.
Conversion is B, mix earnest money with operating account funds.
Instead of conversion, you're asking.
Oh, you talking about commingling, that was, using escrow money to pay office rent, D. That's conversion, using the money.
Commingle would be mixing it.
Mhm.
Conversion is using it.
Is using it.
Laws common people must follow.
The commoners,
Right.
the people in the pool.
Yeah, the ones in the pool, they gotta follow the rules.
Mm-mm.
So that's A?
B,
B.
developed over
Developed over
time.
time.
Yeah, written by the legislative bodies, that's statutory law.
Not payment of fraud.
Well, A, B, and C are your elements of fraud.
Right.
One, you made a statement that was misrepresentation or a lie or a misstatement, didn't tell them something. That was the basis of the fraud. They relied on it, and then they were damaged by it. Those are your 3 elements of fraud. The broker having an office policy concerning fraud is just good policy, but that would be an element of fraud. A, B, and C are your 3 elements.
So D is the answer. Public protection.
Blue sky law.
Blue sky law, that protects the public.
Yeah.
Syndication is where you'll have a bunch of different people getting in on a deal. Syndicated out, and you may have 50 people part of this deal. A joint venture will be where a couple of strong people, like a developer and a builder, will hook up and do a development. That'll be a joint venture for this deal, and then it goes away. The syndication may go on for a long, long time. And we've already got co-op and blue sky.
Customer asks direct question.
Yes, they will be required to disclose.
Protect.
Rise in water.
Rise in
Flood.
water not covered.
Flood.
That is flood insurance.
Smell of mold, watermarks, water stains. D.
D, holes in the bedroom walls. That's obvious.
Yeah.
The hole looks like a fist.
Probably would.
Yeah, they probably were. We got a lot of them where the doors open in and hit.
C.
Red flag issue,
we skipped.
not.
Not.
Holes in the bedroom walls.
Right.
You can figure that out, but smell of mold, we need to dig a little deeper. Watermarks, tell me more about that. Or water stains on the ceiling. Yeah, we probably need to get somebody to look at that too. But holes in the bedroom wall, and what are you gonna say, the owner? Did you really hit the wall right there with your fist? No, I hit her head in there.
That's what I just said.
Home inspections performed by licensed home inspector.
Yes. Even if you are a licensed home inspector, don't do one on your deal. Don't you think that'd be a little biased? Oh, no,
Conflict
no.
of interest
Don't
too.
see any stains on the ceiling. Don't see
And
holes
they
in the
fool
wall.
them.
Talking about as the seller.
Yeah, no,
Do you do it
home inspections performed by a licensed home inspector.
Right, but you said don't
You
do
wouldn't
one
want
of
to
your.
do it. You would never want to do one yourself. You're just putting liability all over you.
Mm-hmm.
And the seller, nothing wrong with this house. This is the nicest one on the planet. There are no issues here. Home inspection is,
Paid by the purchaser.
yes, don't ever let the seller pay for it or pick the inspector.
Of course.
Yeah,
Why would you let them pay for it though?
well, if they paying for it, they're gonna tell the inspector, I'm the one writing the check.
Yeah.
Material fact?
And you sure that would impact decision?
Yes, it would. Agents must discover,
Patent defects? No. Not letting, they don't have to discover anything. None of the above?
none of the above. And
Agents
you
must
won't have
discover.
any questions on your real estate test that say none of the above.
No, I didn't see
No,
that.
none like that.
Agent
Oh,
must
okay, we're
discover.
not discovering any of them, okay, agent.
School zones, external environment issues, property square footage.
Property square footage, external environmental.
School zones?
There you go. Information the client requests you to do. Isn't that a lawful instruction?
Yeah, external.
Express, case for quick contract sale, so that's right.
Express intentions. Implied intentions based on actions.
Well,
Express contract, no, it's in writing. You
Discover.
Implied.
express
You
intentions.
know of it.
Based on action.
In the C?
Okay.
See, parties express their intention.
Right.
It's not.
Opposite of implied.
Unilateral.
Yeah, one side is unilateral.
Contract which has some title remaining to be performed.
Executed.
Executory.
Oh,
Executory.
remaining.
This is one they'll flip you up with executory, executed, and then just the plain word execute means sign.
Right.
Pace, we might actually get that included. Unenforceable, void,
Unenforceable.
Void?
void.
avoidable.
Yeah, void.
It's void.
Void?
Voidable
Unenforceable.
can be enforced.
Well, it can be enforced by one side.
But it's enforceable.
But if it's unenforceable, it was
It's void.
void from the beginning.
Void, okay.
Reason a contract may be unenforceable.
Duress.
Duress.
Duress, yes.
The one contract was
Signed by-
signed under duress.
It could be, and
I thought
also
signed
signed
by
by
Illegal
minor.
person, illegal purpose.
It was
Avoid
contract
contract.
Minor is, that's voidable. A void contract was.
And duress is voidable as well. 'Cause,
for
I thought it was
illegal
void.
purpose.
well, grandma might say, I don't have any, I don't know.
So illegal purpose?
Illegal purpose is always void.
Okay.
Grandma may never say anything that she was
Okay.
under distress.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was brought up, bam, it goes to voidable.
Right.
Or actually, void. If she says anything, so I guess that would be voidable.
The contract to become finalized.
Contract to
Acceptance.
be finalized, closing statement must be prepared.
A closing statement must be prepared.
Acceptance.
The contract to become finalized.
Acceptance,
That is-
yes.
That's
You've
what
got
I said.
offer and acceptance. And now we have two-sided. That's your finalized date. We may have started negotiating this 4 or 5 days ago. That was the date of the contract. But then now it's 3 or 4 or 5 days later before we're both on the same page, have a meeting of the minds, and it's accepted by the last party that sent the offer.
So is that the contract that's been finalized? Or
When
the
a contract, for a contract to become finalized, acceptance. Closing statement must be prepared, and the attorney's gonna do that at the very end. Earnest money must be deposited. Is earnest money required for a valid contract?
No.
No. Broker must sign?
No.
No. So it's acceptance, offer acceptance. When it's accepted, now we've got a two-sided bilateral contract that is executory, and that's when our clock starts on the inspection. Find out if you can get insurance on it. What else?
The appraisal.
The appraisal will be ordered, but our time starts at the acceptance finalized, and there are three things: the inspection, finance, insurance. You got your clock starts on getting your inspection. You got 10 days, I think, unless it's changed to 7. That clock starts. You got to get your financing within 7 days lined up. You should have it already lined up. And then make sure you can get insurance on this property. Because if you can't get insurance, you can't get financing. Earnest money.
Deposit to escrow account.
D.
Must be deposited in escrow account. Yes. B.
Oh, yeah.
The contract does not include company parts authority to perform. D.
D,
Does
yeah,
not.
ability to pay. That has nothing to do with you signing the contract.
Office term.
You've got to have these other things. Remember, we got authority, there's Sheriff Taylor, competent, there's Floyd, and age is Opie. Offer is terminated when
Is it C?
C. It'll be terminated because if somebody's in breach.
No motion. D is replaced.
Replacement contract. Yes.
Liquidated damage clause applies. Material breach.
Liquidated damages clause.
A breach.
Yeah, a material breach there.
Material.
A failed inspection, they'd get their earnest money back.
Yeah.
And we don't have a due diligence period here in Alabama. Some states do. Or destruction of the property. No, actually the contract still is valid if the house burns down.
Right.
It may be the land you were after. You were going to tear it down anyway. Listing agreement?
Creates agency.
Yes.
This one may terminate by all except mutual agreement, death of agent. D.
D, death of the agent.
Which is one
They just sign it to another agent.
Yeah.
exclusive agency, exclusive right to sell multiple listings. D. Legal listing.
Right, legal listing.
Land.
Oh, we knocking them out now. Bam, bam,
We're
bam.
rolling now.
Let's go.
Which one's that, D? Multiple listing, okay.
And legal listings, net, C.
Yeah, legal,
Listing
net.
conversation is set by, negotiating.
Listing conversation.
Agreement between brokers.
Negotiating, yeah, between the listing agent and the owner.
Not a contingency. Finance is, inspection is, commission is not.
That's nice. Buyer must sell home first, that's
Sometimes it's
contingency.
contingent. Best practice for multiple offers except first offer.
Yeah.
You have to accept the first offer, otherwise somebody could say,
Best practice for multiple offers.
Well, if you represent the seller, all of a sudden you got 3 offers laying on the table.
oh, highest and best.
There you go. You're gonna send back to their agent an email saying, we're in a multiple offer situation, send me your highest and best. Bye. Give them a timeline, 48 hours. Alright, is this where y'all want to stop?
Let's see how, what
Page 19?
Where we 19
Yeah,
and got
there's still a
to
ways
the
to go.
Yeah, we got
Quite a
ways to
ways
go.
to
We got at least another hour. We can go an hour if y'all want to.
I would like to, but oh my God.
Look, my brain done had a fart, so.
If y'all want to stay.
But you
we can
know,
keep going.
I thought we was
For some of these,
Yeah, we've only been working on this about 2 hours.
Now, we don't have 9 sheets. Is that right? Did I count right?
Something like
27.
Yeah. We only have 9 left.
Yeah, we're on 19 right now.
What,
Did I
got
count
8
wrong?
left? Got 8 left?
8 left?
We probably could
Little
let
math and then.
Think about it.
I think, okay, let's take a 5-minute break.
Well, I got to go to the bathroom.
And do 1 more hour. I don't care what y'all decide to do at 4 o'clock. I'm gone. I'm out.
Break time, 5 minutes.
I know.
All right, back from a little short break. We're gonna try to go another 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go again.
We gonna be sipping
My
on some
husband,
gin and juice by then.
Well, we've been here 6.5 hours
That's what I'm
now.
saying.
We have to
We
look
got
at a
no
cartoon,
more. We
real
got our-
funny. We need
This
some Red Bull, that's what you
Red
should have
Bull,
brought.
a shot of caffeine. We got some sugar in there.
Cinnamon twist.
We're going. Back from break. All right, what's not a common in a commercial lease?
What's not big?
Not coming in.
Yeah, what's not common in a commercial lease?
Net.
No.
It ain't
A lease
profit.
purchase. You don't used to do a lease purchase. in
Right,
commercial.
you wouldn't, a commercial lease is, gross is like a residential lease, but this is a commercial building we're in.
Right.
But the lease is more like a residential lease. We pay a flat fee per month, and that covers taxes, insurance, maintenance, everything else. A net lease, if we had a net lease here, we would pay a flat amount, then we would also pay the taxes, the insurance, and the maintenance on the building. A percentage lease is where, like if we were a retail store and we were doing $1 million a year in sales, our rate would be a certain amount, and if we did like $1.5 million, we'd have to pay a percentage of that extra income, and the landlord said it's because of my building, the reason your sales are so good.
Oh, wow.
That's how they justify it. It's the location in my building.
Oh, location. Okay.
So the answer is lease.
Yeah, lease purchase, you're not gonna have that in a commercial lease.
Options.
Options, obligate who?
The
The giver, the
offeror.
No.
Offeree.
Offeree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obligates the offer, yeah, get those E's and O's, because you can bet out of your
They gonna be on there.
140
It's
questions,
gonna be 50 of them.
there gonna be some O's and E's in there.
Mhm.
Title insurance protects
The buyer.
the buyer. Yes. Title insurance may also protect
The mortgage.
mortgagee. Yeah, because you have two
It's
policies.
the buyee, other lessor for the teetotal. Okay.
Title insurance, you'll have two policies. You'll have an owner's policy and a lender's policy.
Wow.
Concern insurance.
Chain of title.
Chain of title, yeah, there's a little problem there
Yeah.
somewhere. Need to fix that.
See, quick.
Which is not a deed.
Quick.
Type. Yeah.
Yeah,
Quick claim.
yeah, quick. Quick is not on the list.
Yeah.
Quit,
That's not. That's not.
quit is
Quit, but not.
not quick.
That's how we say
Yeah,
it.
quit, Q-U-I-T is,
It's not the C. It's quick.
watch them on stuff like that.
Yeah, really thank you.
Because when we're talking about it, it sounds like we're saying quit,
Yeah.
quick.
Is that a deed?
It's quick, we want to get this taken care of real quickly.
But it's quick.
But quit is where one person's giving up whatever rights they may
Yeah,
have.
so it's D.
Is it D?
Covenant in-
Further assurance of value?
Not a covenant in-
Not covered in a deed. Season, warranty, again, further assurance of value. You've got further assurance of assistance that if somebody makes a claim on the deed, yes, you will do that. But they can't say, oh yeah, it's gonna hold its value.
They don't know that.
No, you can't say that. You could. You pretty much say, yeah, it'll be up 5% next year. Who must sign the deed?
The grantor.
Grantor.
The previous one was D.
Now, the grantee actually does not have to
Don't
sign.
have to.
They have to be named.
What you
But
say?
they don't have to sign.
Correct.
It must be delivered during grantor's lifetime.
Yes.
Come on. I don't know what you're asking.
The one that
Restrictions on
said
private property
in a
included.
deed.
Which one you talking about?
Deed restrictions,
Oh, not covenant,
CCNR.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
covenant, not in the
Restriction
deed.
private property include all except state zoning? Cause that would be,
Restrictions on
with it.
private property include all of the following except,
you got deed restriction, you got CCNRs. Wouldn't it be, your local zoning, your county zoning, not state?
well, the state doesn't do zoning.
Association.
Right, so,
Yeah, so it's gotta be that one.
okay.
Your local governments, the county, city, they will do zoning. State doesn't do zoning.
Is constructive notice, making it known to the public.
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry, what was, he must be delivered by,
Question back.
It must be delivered.
What do you want us to, come on, let's get
Right,
going.
okay, right?
Tomorrow's over here knocking them out fast, you're not gonna breathe
Like,
I'm sorry,
I got a deadline, people.
Which one was that one?
That was the.
C.
Thank you.
Okay, restrictions on private property was
C.
C. Okay.
Not, because the state doesn't do zoning.
No,
Okay, now,
Recording is constructive notice.
Yes,
in prorated refers
prorating is,
To
prorated prepaid taxes. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be your
Yeah.
taxes,
Texas.
and they're not gonna be prepaid. In fact, I need to
You got
fix that.
Allocation for taxes.
Let me
Take
fix that.
prepaid out.
Mine just, it's too much.
Proration allocation for taxes. Okay.
Property
Yeah,
taxes.
we don't.
6 million on
Oh, it's
1,000
that.
cents back.
I'll just say
600.
It'll take a while.
6 million times.
That's what I just did, 'cause it's
See how you
1,000.
can move that decimal place over one, and
That's
it changes it with each
Yeah.
dramatically.
That would be 600?
6 mils, so how much tax on $1,000 worth of assessed value? So if you got $1,000, if they think your house is worth $1,000, that's what you're being taxed on. Would you be paying $600 worth of taxes on that?
No. it'd be
Probably
60.
not. 60, that sounds more reasonable.
sounds more
6, no.
And then you want to
6
pay-
cents?
No,
No. So just
we're gonna go with $60.
figuring this out in your head, I'm gonna bet $60.
Yeah, cause 600 is almost too much.
Yeah, that's almost,
That's what I
I
was
say,
doing.
here, tax man, why don't you just buy it?
Not like they said $100,000.
They said $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, they said one, okay.
Yeah,
That
1,000.
was a tear.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah, y'all
I
not
was
gonna get the
looking at one.
examples, the base 10
No,
examples on the
no.
test? No.
Capital gain.
Still comes 1 year, tax at 25%. Would?
You shouldn't have to read more than 8.
Wait a minute.
Add to personal income with property.
Yeah,
So
that's
under
true.
1 year.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. Okay,
I was looking for the percentage.
I was looking for a
15.
percentage too.
Yeah, it would be 15% if it was held over a year.
Mhm.
And so here we had 25, 50, and 33, and none of those numbers even make any sense, because only one we've ever talked about is 15%.
Right.
So you could just throw all those away. But the one added to personal income held under 1 year. That's why when you do a flip, you really need to hold it for a year, because you're hoping you're gonna make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on the deal. Well, if I can it's gonna take me 6 months to do it anyway. If I can hold it 6 more months, that's a lot of difference in the tax you gotta pay.
Yeah.
But is it worth it if you're paying out of pocket for,
Holding cost, maybe.
Yeah, how much
I
you
guess
holding
I-
cost? So let's say you're making $50,000 on the deal, and you hold it for 8 months.
and you had borrowed money on it? and
You borrowed
paying
money, you're
interest?
paying that, or you gotta pay 15% of 50,000, that's what, how much is that?
Don't ask me.
Well, 10% of 50,000 would be 5,000, and then half of that would be $7,500 of tax. Or that $50,000 is gonna load on top of your income. And let's just say you made 50,000 this year, now you made 100,000, and your tax rate went from 28 to 37%. So now you gotta pay 37% on 100,000.
You got no write-offs, no limit.
Yeah, and the write-off's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So you're gonna pay $37,000 worth of taxes, or $7,500
Yeah.
if you just hold it another 4 months. I'm gonna go for long.
If you're doing like 1 or 2 a year, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hold it for a year, just because of that.
Which is not a foreclosure option in Alabama, non-judicial.
Right. You got, Alabama's a judicial state.
You might want to put a hyphen that'll probably take that blue line off of it.
Is that what it needs?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that blue line was for.
For amendments.
There we go.
Always prohibits.
Glad somebody's used words.
If you right.
We'll team, Steve, we'll team.
Tell me.
Law which prohibits discrimination based on race.
Civil Rights Act of 1866.
1866.
You thought we had forgot that, didn't you?
Now,
Talked about it earlier.
Or just what the,
Discrimination. Oh, steering, blockbusting, red lines. And they cheat.
Red line.
Yeah, red line.
your keys are lender.
Lender.
That's gonna be redlining. These two are broker. And that's not even on the list.
No, because they cheated.
Yeah, they cheated you.
Steve, you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Give me another Red Bull, I go to midnight.
America with Disability Act priority. Whoa,
Oh, no, see.
wait a minute. American with Disability Act.
What are you asking? They got to have all that. They require a ramp, wide doors.
No,
Lower shelf height.
no,
Okay, wait a minute.
no.
Americans with Disabilities Act.
The priority.
Priority.
Oh, the priority.
Priority.
Okay.
The priority of
They
the
got to be
act.
able to access,
Get to the
get
door.
in.
Get
They
in
got
the
to get
door.
in.
So,
That's the first priority. Act,
Get
that should be
into.
first priority. Americans with Disability Act, yeah, must be
American.
first.
okay, let me put first.
Acts. Apostrophe. ACT apostrophe S.
Americans with Disability Act.
What do you say?
Americans with Disabilities Acts. First
That should-
apostrophe
That
S.
should be, says an act. It's gonna be ACT.
Apostrophe S. And then
Sorry.
go to capitalize your disabilities.
American, yeah, because that's all the act. Fine.
So,
First priority
now,
is D, get
in the door.
into the door. Oh yeah, is to. Is to.
You should get
And
in the
then
door.
D, get into the door.
He said get indoor. Get into
He
the
tired.
Get into the
Yeah.
Into
So a lot of
the
this stuff I do late at night.
age of
Senior housing.
All
B.
residents are over, wait a minute.
our residents are over 60. A.
Mm.
B.
So you know,
B.
some of them is 55.
B.
Yeah, B, if 80% over 55 or
Yeah.
all are over
At least
65.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna disagree with
You gonna
that.
disagree with that?
Because
You know,
because I managed a property that was all elderly, and then I managed one that was near elderly.
Okay.
That one was 62 and up for the
It's 62,
senior.
and yeah, all 80% are over 55 or all are over 62. That's the rule.
But see, Yeah, one of them was
like that.
50, yeah, one of them was, you just had to be over 55 and this,
Yeah, half.
And the other one,
but it wasn't
was
based on a
62.
percentage
Or at
though.
least, no, that's at least one out of two. I'll go back and rework that.
Okay.
Cause it was two different sets though, so you really was.
Yeah, it was one was 80% over 55 and the other is a certain, all are over 62.
Where I live, it was 62, everybody over there had
And that would be,
62.
that would be
I-
A.
Yeah, that's, and then the other one
And then the
is
other one was
80% over.
55
Yeah, 80% of them.
with disabilities.
No, I don't think disability, this is age here.
Okay, well,
Senior housing.
okay.
All brokerages are required to display posters concerning fair housing.
Fair Housing Act, yep.
Six more page.
B,
Do
Um,
not call rules, allow calls.
Call rules allow calls
American.
with established
Disability.
relationship.
Two of those, A and B are right. Because you can
Which
call,
ones?
if you've got a relationship, you can call. If
Well,
they've given you
18 months.
permission, they can call. Those you cannot, those you can. All
Yeah.
right, so this is the odd one out.
Do not call rules allowed.
To
Okay.
for sale
That's,
by
it
owner.
should be do not allow.
Mhm.
Do not call rules, do not allow. There we go.
Do not call rules, do not allow.
Fair housing.
There we go. Do not call rules, do not allow calls
To
to for sale by owners. You can do these other three.
Law prohibit.
Do.
What, is it, are we talking about can of spam or?
Not actually a can of spam.
Cause it said can spam law prohibits. I was like, is this the
Wait a
acronym?
minute, hold on.
Yeah, Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing Act. That's can spam. They prohibit.
If I hear it. Unsolicited email will.
It's not right.
Okay.
And opt out.
Unsolicited emails with,
Unsolicited fact.
without an opt-out option.
Yeah, prohibits that. And unsolicited facts would have to have this opt-out on it as well. Emails with deceptive, that's, you can't do that. Transactional emails you can do. So I guess we should have,
It's not prohibited, maybe?
yeah, it should be does not prohibit. Because it prohibits these three, but does not prohibit that. So it should be can spam law does not prohibit.
Take that S off of prohibit.
Does not prohibit D, right? Okay.
You put this on the internet already?
I've got it saved on our site. I'll reload it. Doesn't take but a second.
What would be considered transactional email?
What is that?
Just, we're sending emails back and forth, like doing the deal, because all our deals now are internet,
Okay,
email. You'll send the contract email, that's a transaction.
Okay.
You're not sending them an unsolicited email because they're waiting on you to send an email.
Right.
Yeah. It looks like the next, this one is
I know, right?
All of the following are required in advertising except. All of the following are required in advertising. Licensee name, broker's name, and they have to be truthful.
Those are your three things.
Right.
So this other one, blind ad exception,
So all of the following are not required, wait a minute, all the following are required in advertising except so C.
and we used to have what was called blind ads, Humpty Dumpty ads they called them. They were fake ads. You know, say 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Hoover for $99,000. Everybody's gonna be calling about that one. And that's a blind fake ad. But people will call, oh, well, that one just sold.
Oh, wow.
But I got one right around the corner.
Oh, my goodness.
$199.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So now they can't do that.
Yeah, they used to do it. It was just common
Just to get them on
practice.
the phone.
Yeah, just to get them to call.
Personal property, transactions,
Electronic signatures are allowed
real
for
estate, transactions.
on personal property transactions.
Real estate transactions.
Yeah,
Stage transaction.
Yeah, real estate.
yeah, real estate transactions, we can do electronic signatures now. That's a fairly new law.
Email closing will include instructions for closing agents, closing, check, certified mail.
Instructions from closing agent.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get, the email closings. They're gonna send instructions, and they're probably sending the instructions to the notary. Because it'd be a traveling notary maybe. We've only had to do a couple of those.
Not true.
Also, the supervised agent, agent has agency relationship with both agents, I think,
You want
D.
It's
You
D?
can only be paid by your broker.
Oh, okay.
So D,
Agents allowed.
agent relationship allows licensee to agent relationship. A licensee to,
Give it by.
Give it
That's what I
back.
said.
Yeah,
they can't do no legal advice.
No.
But they ain't no attorney.
or tax advice.
They ain't no attorney.
So saying,
That's a kickback give by a part of commission, like the
Yeah.
sale, that's a kickback. Antitrust allows broker to sell commission. That's what it was. Can't have a tie-in agreement,
Application of customer.
can't have price fixing,
Broker to set
can't
commission.
set broker commission, see?
Pay customers and market.
Broker can, broker can set.
yeah, the broker can set the commission.
Yeah.
We can have a,
Yeah.
we can say, all right, don't take any listings at this company under 10%.
Yeah.
But I thought that's when you get together and say, well, we're
No,
not
that's
gonna.
No, that's
a bunch of
that's-
brokers.
that's-
Oh,
Your
okay,
broker can set a minimum office commission.
okay, yeah.
Cause like you can set for 10% and that's your flat rate.
Yeah, and that's.
I thought it was like the,
Oh, that's when
Now,
they.
if all
that's
of
when
us
they
are
be
brokers,
steering and stuff.
And we're meeting for lunch.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, yeah, I just can't make it on 10% anymore. And y'all say, yeah, I'm having the same problem.
Yeah.
Would you be better, you know, if we could go to 15%?
And then
And y'all say,
everybody-
yeah.
It's gonna take
Everybody
more
goes
than one.
15, who are we hurting?
The public.
The public. But the broker, one broker can say, all right, our new office minimum commission is 10%. All he's gonna hurt is himself.
Right.
The other brokers are gonna say, yeah, I like you having that policy.
A funds remain after.
Remaining
all
after
costs.
all costs are paid.
Commission is set.
Commission's what?
Enlisting agreement.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I think that's.
Is it by custom or enlisting agreement?
It's in your listing agreement. That's where you negotiate the commission with the seller.
No.
You know what?
I'm looking at all these numbers. No.
Percentage of the sale.
Commission may be.
Now,
Percentage of
percentage
sales?
of-
Percentage.
It can be any of
Any of the
them.
above. But I'm telling you again, you're not gonna have a question on the state test that says any of the above or none of the above.
Commission paid.
What is it gonna say on the state test?
It's gonna have,
Agent broker.
it'll have just
And your
three
right
wrongs
answer.
and one right.
Oh, okay.
They don't ever give you all of the above or none of the above.
Here we go.
That's good.
9 by 9, 9 by 9.
If they don't, they won't
one.
have this type of question in return.
Commission is paid by the
Commission
agent's
for
broker.
yard. Used for a room measuring 9 by 9.
How many square
Like,
yards?
who's the commission paid by?
The agent's broker.
Agent
Agent's broker,
broker.
yes. All right, now here's the one that has been on the test. You gotta know how many feet are in a yard. That's 3 feet in a yard. A square yard is gonna be 3 feet times 3 feet. So there'll be 9 square feet in a yard. So this question says,
So 9 times 3 is 27.
well, you know, you're gonna have square. It'll be 3 feet from down one side.
Yeah, that's hard to do for me.
Now each one of these is a foot. Each one of these is a foot. So that's 3 feet times 3 feet. So that'll be 9 square feet
Okay.
in a square yard. That's a square yard. 9 square feet is a square yard. So you got to be able to do that before you can do this one. And they know that most of us can't do that. It's been a long time since we were in the 5th grade. And how big's a yard? Well, they're using meters now. What is a yard?
They're not teaching that in the 5th grade.
They
My
not.
son was in the 5th grade last year.
They're not doing meters?
No.
Okay. Then we can still use feet here. How many square yards of carpet are needed for a room measuring 9 feet by 9 feet? All right, so we're going to multiply 9 times 9. Remember what that is? 81 square feet.
Man. All the rest of it left is
81 square feet. And there are 9 square feet in a yard. So if we divided that by 9, we're going to have 9 yards, 9 square yards. So we had 9 square feet equals a square yard.
Let me ask you something, Steve.
Stephen, the rest of this stuff is numbers, Stephen.
Steve. Steve. Let's say these next
All
3
the rest of them
pages.
is math,
The
Stephen.
rest of this is math?
Yes, Stephen.
Okay, and y'all want to do math Monday night?
Yes,
Yes.
Stephen.
Okay, we'll start here Monday night then.
All right.
But the answer is 9.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, the answer's
Yeah,
9.
answer's 9, but
Okay.
I can't do math at the end of
Yeah, I'm drained.
like the
All the words.
the-
yeah.
We've only been here 7 hours.
you gonna make me
the
start
middle
drinking.
I feel like Gilligan's Island, a 3-hour tour.
Well, this one's easy. It's easy.
It's C.
It's
0.06.
easy.
Okay.
That one is C.
That's your
And what
last
about the
one.
bill?
Stephen?
What about the bill? How many feet?
Y'all want to call it a day?
Yes, we're gonna call it that because the rest of us need drink Red Bull.
1,000, yeah.
I can't drink that, my blood pressure gonna win crazy.
All right, that's it for today. Be back Monday night and we'll pick up and we'll do a session on math.
Yes.